Welcome back to Kind of Funny's Fast and Furious in Review. That's right, we are ranking and reviewing every Fast and Furious movie. I'm Tim Gettys. This is Andy Cortez. That is Kevin Coelho. That's Greg Millen over there. We got Nick Scarpino.
Honk, honk. Hope you're ready for fun.
It's a car movie. Yeah, I guess.
Get in the back seat for fun.
Get in the back seat for fun.
Oh, yeah. Wow, ladies and gentlemen, this show happens every...
He looked at me and paused. I'm like, I gotta say something. That's the first thing that came to mind.
I appreciate you trying.
Every Tuesday at 11 a.m. on twitch.tv/kindoffunnygames, or you can watch the video later on youtube.com/kindoffunny, or now on roosterteeth.com. If you want to listen to it, guess what, Greg?
What's that?
You can listen to it as a podcast. Just search for Kind of Funny Reviews on your podcast service of choice. We would appreciate your high rankings, your high reviews, just like we think of this movie franchise. Today, we are talking about Furious 7. Thank you. There we go.
My father-in-law was visiting last night, and I was like, I apologize. Like, I have to put this movie on. Like, I have to watch this.
I apologize. I have to watch Furious 7, and he's probably like, "What the fuck?"
Well, because he was like, I just got here, but okay, I guess we'll watch Fast and Furious, the seventh Fast and Furious. Hey, he's never seen any of them before. He was like, God, whatever.
Anything.
But the point of the story was,
binge 1 through 6
at the end of it, I had to explain to my father-in-law, who's a very manly man, who rides motorcycles up and down like New Zealand and the coast of California.
Why are you sobbing?
Why? He's like, are you crying right now? I was like, you just don't understand. It's such a nice sentiment, and it's like, it's so sad but so right, like sad.
Real talk. Did anyone cry?
I cried.
I fucking cried.
No.
I didn't
I cried in theaters, and then watching it this time, I was like, "Oh, this didn't piece together. This wasn't as sentimental as
Oh my God.
I didn't cry at the part where, I didn't tear up at the part where they're looking at each other.
Yeah,
I actually teared up at the part where they're on the beach. And they're watching him, and it's actually like I think it was his brother, playing with the kids.
And Luda's like,
and
stop talking, just
yeah, he's like, this is where he belongs. And you're just, because I was talking to Dee because we were watching it together, and she's like, does he? So he doesn't die? I'm like, no, they just give him he just gets to go be with his family.
The moment that got me was the cars splitting across.
Yeah, and they follow his car.
And they follow his car.
All white for Paul. Yeah, that's what made me cry. Yeah, that's where I kills me. In theaters where I cried. Yeah.
Furious 7.
I didn't cry last time. I'm crying right now, though.
Furious 7, released on April 3rd, 2015, directed by James Wan. The first one of these movies in a while, not directed by Justin Lin. James Wan directed Saw and The Conjuring, a lot of the horror movies.
Why no Justin Lin in this one?
I think he did Star Trek instead.
We got information if you're curious. So here's the facts of the Furious.
Facts of the Furious.
So he did do Star Trek Beyond instead, but that wasn't the reason he didn't do this. In April 2013, during post-production of the retitled Fast and Furious 6, Lin announced that he would not return to direct a seventh film as the studio wanted to produce the film on an accelerated schedule. We're going a little too Fast and Furious there. For release in summer 2014. This would have required Lin to begin pre-production on the sequel while performing post-production on 6, which he considered would affect the quality of the final product. Despite the usual 2-year gap between the previous installments, Universal chose to pursue a quicker sequel due to having fewer reliable franchises than its competitor studios, which is interesting.
Yeah, it makes sense. And you see that now because now they're like, cool, we have offshoots, so we're going to do what Star Wars is trying to do, which is have a freaking Fast and Furious movie every year.
But that ended up obviously not being the case because of Paul Walker's death. Everything got pushed back anyway, so it ended up being on the 2-year cycle anyways. Released on April 3rd, 2015, like I said, directed by James Wan. His first major action movie, James Wan most recently did Aquaman. Budget of $190 million. A box office. So for reference here, Fast 6 made $788 million. All right. Furious 7 made $353 million in the United States and Canada, but $1.163 billion
with a B
in other countries for a worldwide total of $1.516 billion fucking dollars.
Wait, so the last one they made 788. Yeah. Was that worldwide as well?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I mean, you have to
doubled.
imagine, and I hate to say this, I don't mean this as a joke or to sound bad, but you have to imagine that Paul Walker's death helped propel this a little bit farther than it usually would have.
I also think it had a lot to do with the location choices.
I mean, Abu Dhabi
in the movies. This is the most worldwide one that we've seen
Mr.
so
Worldwide.
far. Because 6 being in London, that's cool, but There's definitely a different.
There's a huge
flavor to it.
audience for United Arab Emirates.
Well, also, I think they funded the movie as well. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that at this point, this is the point where the production company started getting a lot of money from
after the credits, there was the go visit Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, they do that.
Hey, maybe that looked fun.
It makes sense.
Abu Dhabi got such a dope ass intro in this movie with that song that sounds like Rihanna, but it's not Rihanna.
It's one of those things where it's interesting because this happens a lot, right? You see it happen a lot with Transformers movies, stuff like that. Like famously, they had to film a lot of their stuff, and I think it was China, Hong Kong, or not Hong Kong. Either way,
Same thing with that.
And then China got mad at them because they were like, "You're not showing any all the spots that we talked to you guys about," and there was a big legal thing, but. Yeah, it's interesting to see money comes from one country, then all of a sudden you're like, we got to go to Abu Dhabi for no reason. Okay.
Well, it's part of their rebranding campaign because you figure outside of this movie, the only time we ever heard of Abu Dhabi is when Garfield was trying to send Nirmal to Abu Dhabi all the time. Remember that?
Odie or Nirmal?
Yeah.
Nirmal. Yeah, no. Odie and Garfield had a strained relationship, but he wasn't trying to ship him off like he was Nirmal all the time.
Yeah.
Smart cat.
He
was the gray cat. He was the gray cat.
He's the cute cat.
Also,
that was very playful.
If we ever get around to doing Mission Impossible, there's a great Abu Dhabi's a set piece, I believe, in that as well.
Oh yeah.
And Kevin
He has to
Sex and the
actually
City
climb
too.
that thing.
Tim.
Yeah.
That's
Not as good as
that's
one.
the one when Charlotte shits herself in the shower, right? She's like, oh no, and then poops herself in the shower. Oh no, she drinks the shower water and then poops herself.
Yeah, she poops herself for sure.
maybe.
Yeah. She for sure poops herself.
Sex and the City in review.
In one of
Coming
those
soon.
movies.
Those movies are bad.
Oh,
The
man.
series is great though.
I almost don't even want to say what time it is, Greg. But
Hold on, before you do this, I want more facts of the Furious. What do we know about what changed in this movie? That was my thing. Is there's so many things where Jen's like, "That's a weird thing," and I'm like, "I know it's weird, but they had to." Look at he's not there for this scene.
a
clearly.
lot of it's weird. So there's not too many facts out there. of,
Okay, there's never
what-
been a confirmed here's what we had to do.
This is what's changed. This is what the story was gonna be.
Oh, you mean as far as story is concerned? Because I was like, Andy and I were watching a video earlier where he was like, it was really surprising that a lot of the beginning scenes actually had facial reconstruction stuff done. Because I didn't notice that. The only scenes that I really noticed are the ones at the end. But I guess it's because there's so many fast
As soon
cuts.
as he
in the
came
beginning.
out, I was like, "Oof, there it is.
Really?
That's it."
I think it was pretty
he's
good
got
for
good eyes.
most
Oh
of
no,
the
yeah,
movie.
what are you gonna do? I'm not
Yeah, what are you
knocking
gonna-
it. Yeah.
The end, I think, is the thing that is the most egregious. But
I
what
think-
are you gonna do?
I think there's two at the end.
Maybe
There's
not
two
sit on that
shots
scene
of
for so long.
his face, and I think the second one is why were you
Yeah.
guys holding this for so long?
Because that was the one where you're like that effect does not hold up if you give the audience enough time to stare at it. And Kevin's spot on. It cuts back and forth, and it's a fast cut, and you're like, okay, that's fine. I can deal with that. And then they just sit on him
They
for a
sit
while.
him, and then he does the thing where
and
he
the
turns
head's
his
not,
head.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
not, and it's not quite right. The face is a little bit jelly on top of the head, and it's just unfortunate. Again, I still cried. This is I've complained before about the fan service in some of these movies, specifically Fast Five, but this was needed. We had
That's
people
my
were
thing. Is
legitimately sad.
you wanted to say goodbye.
Yeah.
And I
You had
understand
to.
it, and it doesn't look right in times, but I don't
cares?
fault them for it. I would rather be that than ignoring it, not having it.
Oh my God.
I mean, there was talk about canceling the movie. Like that was the thing. Is I did try to get as many facts that I could,
Facts.
but it's the rewrites and stuff were just kind of them being like, we already have something, but how do we figure out the plot of minimizing Paul Walker, using what we have and all that stuff. Just reading some stuff here. On November 30th, 2013, while on a break for the Thanksgiving holiday, Walker, who portrayed Brian O'Connor, died in a single vehicle accident. The next day, Universal announced that the production would continue after a delay that would allow the filmmakers to rework the film. On December 4th, 2013, Universal put production on hold indefinitely. Wan later confirmed that the film had not been canceled. On December 22nd, 2013, Diesel announced on his Facebook page that the film would be released April 2015. In February 2014, The Hollywood Reporter reported that filming would resume April 1st, and the cast and crew had headed to Atlanta to prepare for 8 more weeks of shooting, and then whatever to keep going. To recreate Walker's likeness, the filmmakers hired Peter Jackson's Weta Digital Visual Effects House, which had previously produced the imagery of Gollum in Lord of the Rings and Caesar in Planet of the Apes. Initially, what Weta could do was severely constrained by the quality of the reference material available for Walker's physical appearance. In April 2014, it was reported that Walker's brothers Caleb and Cody had been hired as stand-ins. Their cooperation, along with their strong resemblance to their late brother, enabled the filmmakers to use Walker's likeness throughout the finished film. That is, Weta Digital no longer needed to recreate Walker's entire body from scratch and could focus on accurately modeling his face. The final film showed Walker's face superimposed over the bodies of his brothers or actor John Brotherton. A lot of brother there. In 350 visual effects shots, 260 used CG face, while 90 repurposed actual footage of Walker's face, borrowed from outtakes or older footage.
Yeah, there were shots in the before the house is exploded by that bomb, where he's holding the baby, and they show the Weta breakdown, and it shows like the full head is all CG, like it's all wireframed and everything. Like I would have never known that.
They did a really good job.
I always assumed the end of it because the end was the most egregious, but a lot of shots in the middle and beginning of the movie were also CG, and that kind of blew me away. Great job, Weta.
Yeah, but also like shout out to that montage that we get.
Oh, man.
It was
Dude,
really
that
something.
That was something. That
very
was really
well
sad
done
and
for
well done.
like this series.
It is interesting. I wonder if one day we'll get some type of retrospective, like, documentary.
It's that thing of it's so hard to do and not be disrespectful to what happened, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to talk about what it was because then people will inevitably be like, "Oh, that would have been better."
No, I don't know, but I mean that's my thing. Is like I'm like, oh, I wonder if that would have made the plot any more clear because it was a little bit jumbled. But then you think back to all the Fast and Furious movies, and you're like,
yeah,
I get like I was thinking I was like, I wonder what the plot would have been in this, and then I started thinking I was like, wait, what was the plot in 6? And I just watched 6 last week.
Yeah,
I'm like,
sure,
it
that's
doesn't
how I
fucking
feel,
matter.
dude.
Who cares?
It's true. This one,
Trying to cobble this together to
I know.
recap. I'm
God's
like,
eye.
ooh,
He's got
stick in
God's eye
everybody.
now. You got God's eye. We're gonna hack
this
God's
one,
eye.
I feel like
The
every
fuck?
week we're like, this is when it becomes ridiculous. This is when,
Yeah.
like, but that's what this franchise is.
So
Like,
good.
this movie is ridiculous when
Yeah.
you think of what the plot is and what these people are doing. It is like on a worldwide government scale. The movie ends with them facing a fucking space jet drone thing, like
The Predator drone.
It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But yeah, it's like I agree with you where I'm like I don't think that there was much. I feel like the stuff that was most changed is the Jordana Brewster character.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Brian and Mia,
stuff.
right? Yeah.
Which-
yeah.
But apparently, I was reading a lot of like so there was a whole retrospective on the night that they shot the Tokyo scenes.
Yeah.
That was all in Atlanta in a parking lot that the same parking lot that you used in Tokyo Drift. So when the guy from Tokyo Drift was with Vin, they did Facebook posts like kind of talking about it. That same night they did shots with Paul Walker, and
shit.
it was in the same area, but it was Paul Walker on the phone with Jordana
Yeah,
Brewster.
yeah.
So it's like a lot of the scenes that I would have assumed, not even from facial reconstruction stuff, but just from like plot like choices they made of like this seems kind of weird and a way to write them out.
Right.
It was like no, that was part of the.
But here's my
original
thing.
plan.
I hear you, but I'm wondering, and I don't know. You read the. I didn't know. I'd love to read this retrospective if you could forward it over. Did they say it was the same stuff? Because when Mia's telling him all that in the movie, his reactions for me, I don't feel line up perfectly. And there's a lot of silence. It's a lot of oh man, like and like happy, but not like ecstatic. And it was this thing of like. Well, I'd love to know what that conversation was originally, because that was what I was talking to Jen about as we were watching last night. I'm like, this conversation's fascinating. Again, you got to do what you got to do. I understand this, but it's like the whole through line of this of just like, man, the second kid changes everything. Like, wait, what? Like that doesn't make it. Why doesn't the first
Well, they
kid?
say
you know what I mean?
one is tough, 2 you might as well have 10. That's what they always say.
And so like
Yeah.
that, watching that thing and his reactions to it, I was like, I bet this isn't him reacting to what she's saying in the scene.
Interesting.
There was a different conversation.
A lot of editing
I think there
cobbled
was, and
together.
that was the thing of cobbling it together, a whole bunch of different takes of him and his nonverbal reactions to stuff to put it together.
I buy that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to them though, because like this is one of the more interesting aspects of this. Of like, what do you do when you're a family guy, like a family person, and like you got 2 kids, you can't go out there and be like, chasing bullets and stuff
And
like that. And I think
that's
they
my-
explored it enough in this.
And that's what
Ish. I mean, they could have been more for sure.
Exactly. That's my thing is I don't think they do explore it enough.
I'm saying kudos to them, like based on the fact that he passed
for
away.
me, like,
they actually were end up
exactly. Paul Walker's first appearance in the film, right, with him at the steering wheel doing that, is real. That's him. That's not CG. And so they were already playing with this thing that he's not happy, or at least he's dealing. I don't know if it would have been that. Removing it from that, I don't think you would have had the exact narrative of like he misses the bullets. You know what I mean? Like I don't think we would have gotten that. I think it would have been different. It would have been, hey man, I'm fucking a dad now driving a minivan, right? And I'm not. You'll get used to it. That's what I'm afraid of.
I wonder like how early on they introduced even the idea of a second child. Like
Yeah.
I don't know,
because I wonder
Yeah.
if they
mean,
did that as a way to sort of like make him go away. You know.
This is the problem with trying to critique this movie is like it's almost like you got to put an asterisk by it.
Yeah.
Because you're like, there's so many extenuating circumstances that you have to give it a little extra credit.
Good words,
like
man.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's great.
It's like 61. Remember that movie?
no, I don't.
The Mickey.
With the asterisks.
Yeah, where they put the asterisk.
Oh yeah.
It's a baseball term. You
Baseball.
don't understand sports.
Mickey
Not a big
Mantle,
deal. Whatever. I couldn't remember his name.
Before we get to the plot, you're right. Like this movie it's hard to kind of like
because there's parts of it that you're like,
what?
It is a little bit jumbled.
Yeah.
But you have to realize like they were up against a very big set of obstacles in that their main actor like passed away 3/4 of the way through filming. So like, I give James Wan like kudos for finishing this and having it be a cohesive film.
It works surprisingly well. It's not perfect, and they're like,
No.
I could have used a bit more with them because there is a lot of plot going on, a lot of crazy things being introduced.
And to be fair, the Dom Brian O'Connor relationship to me has always been the best part of the Fast and Furious series because they're always like, it's that brotherly relationship, and we just didn't get a ton of that in this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I love this movie so much because of the set pieces, and this
The
movie
most
in one
intense
word
set
is
pieces.
relentless.
Yeah.
Like I feel like it's the first time in the franchise that they were like, don't worry about blowing your load, just go. What's the craziest thing we can do?
Except this is, I love this movie and watching it. I think I've watched it for a third time now. I was like, this is a lot more entertaining than I thought it was going to be upon repeat viewing. But the one, and I hate to say it, but the biggest problem with this film is that it is decidedly missing. It's lacking one person the entire film until from the beginning, and then you don't see him the entire movie.
You forget that the
world's
world's biggest movie stars in
I'm
this
like,
movie.
why did they only use The Rock for like 5 minutes of this movie?
It was all like scheduling stuff.
Yeah.
He was doing Hercules.
But
What a big fucking mistake, Rock.
But I
like,
I
how
actually
cool-
liked him being like introduced in the beginning and then having such a hero moment at the end. Like, is that not the most badass line that we've ever heard? Like the most
Yeah,
badass
he's gotta go
one-liner?
work.
yeah, and
Breaking
he
out of a
breaks
cast.
it.
My
Oh my
wife
god,
literally was
Taking
like,
down a
"Predators."
helicopter and a
Predator
drone
drone with the
the
fucking
fucking ambulance and then taking its chain gun and like taking down like come on.
That's the
cool,
problem. He
yeah.
has all the best lines where she's like, did you bring the cavalry? He's like, woman, I am the cavalry. And then walks away with just like the ripped out fucking Gatling gun with all the guts trailing behind it. I
And
was
that's
like,
what I'm
this is awesome.
The Rock was so perfect in this movie that I'm like, I'm not going to complain we didn't
Yeah.
get enough
I'm
because
just
it
saying,
was so good.
I will because the Rock to me is just like really good pizza and you just want more.
I
of
wanted
it.
more,
Just
for
keep
sure.
bringing
Hobbs and
more
Shaw,
of it
baby.
in.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Hobbs and
You
Shaw.
know,
Right afterwards, we watched the trailer and I was like, I can't wait. I can't fucking wait.
I made my father. I was like, you gotta watch this. I made my father-in-law watch it, and he's like,
Can I talk
okay.
to my daughter?
Yeah. He's like, okay, this is weird. I was like, no, but you understand, they're friends.
They're friends?
They're friends now.
God. But anyways, I love that this movie has so many set pieces that like by the time you get to the end, you forget that they skydived cars.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you really do.
Like when I was watching, I was like, I forgot that they not only rode. This movie's all about the war of escalation of its own ridiculousness, where they're driving down through the trees and stuff, right? And I love that they set the stakes because you see that shot of another car going down, getting
Impaled.
torpedoed by
Yeah,
the fucking
yeah.
tree. So you're like, oh shit, like there's actual stakes at play here, which makes it feel not just like a CG fest of cars like being thrown down a hill. But then that happens, and then they do the shot of him going down by
and it
choice.
just becomes a CG fest of like, look at this car get destroyed and everyone in the car clearly dead, but I
and then
guess
the
not.
skyscraper stuff, fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Just
Oh my
like,
God,
just
so
up in the
good.
ante, up
Yeah.
in the ante. But yeah, then you get towards the end, and you're just like,
Now they're home again.
now they're home. But the
Yeah.
movie starts fucking brilliantly, introducing Jason Statham, a character we just saw for one brief glimpse. And it's just like,
But as people are quick to point out in the comments, we saw him for one brief glimpse in Fast 6, but gave him a spot on Ragu Bagu because we couldn't keep the Shaw brothers separate. We're like, Deckard Shaw. And they're like, they're talking about Owen.
Yeah. We meant Owen.
And I get it.
but his introduction,
Awesome.
it's perfect, right? It builds so much story. You believe in why he's now fighting as the family because he's fighting for his family.
I love Jason Statham, by the way. But well, never mind. I was gonna get into kind of future spoiler territory.
Don't do that.
I'll just say it's hard.
He's
Well,
gonna
no, I
do
mean
it.
everyone
He's gonna
knows.
do it.
But the problem is everyone's seen the trailer for Hobbs and Shaw. So
No,
like,
don't do that.
No, yeah.
all right,
I haven't.
you haven't seen the trailer for Hobbs and
No,
Shaw.
I've avoided it.
Okay.
Smart man.
Greg, hit us with the plot.
Plot, 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 pew.
It's been a stressful morning.
Everybody! Plot, 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 plot.
So we open at a hospital.
You're gonna give yourself an aneurysm.
You're gonna fucking burst a blood
Deckard
vessel in
Shaw
your
is standing
brain.
over his brother Owen Shaw in a hospital bed, all fucked up, which of course proves my wife right. Why didn't they go back to look for Giselle?
Yeah.
If this motherfucker could live, clearly she could, and maybe she will in a future installment of Fast and Furious. That is not a spoiler.
She
That's
fell
a
on
prediction.
propeller. Nobody saw it.
Oh Jesus!
Yeah.
I don't think so. She fell from higher. She fell from higher, but
Not much higher.
Science with Kev.
But if we've learned
she weighed less.
If we've learned anything from this movie, though, it's that
Doesn't
people
matter.
are really good at rolling out of cars. Like every
100%,
5 seconds, they're like,
100%.
"Car's done, roll out."
Yeah.
Every 5 seconds.
It's fucking fantastic. And also, this movie, like, we're introduced to the rule of this universe that if you land on your car, you're safe.
Of course.
But this movie
Cars are like
reinforces
mattresses.
that like
So
10
much.
times.
No, except for that. Well, except for the fact that The Rock actually gets severely fucked up by landing on a car.
But that was
He
that was
also
his
jumped out
dog.
of like a 10th story building.
Anyways, he's there and he's I'm gonna
Rock's
avenge
losing
you,
it.
brother. I'm gonna fuck up everybody who fucked you up, and you're like, man, this is a touching scene. And then he starts to walk away, and you see 2 nurses cowering in the back. You're like, what the
I love
fuck?
it.
And then he's
I
walking, and he's
love it.
fucked up this entire hospital.
Fucked it up. It's so
He gets
amazing.
outside and like the entrance collapses and there's like fucking dead agents everywhere and like
Oh, there's
army
the guy,
men.
yeah, he's like, take this. And the guy's just like, a grenade.
I've never seen one.
Dude, that speech was so good. When he was
Not only
like,
that, but he lays the fucking machine gun down on Owen Shaw's like comatose body. Like, here you go, brother. Like, just gives him a fucking gun.
Instincts, you don't understand them. Anyways, so that's what's happening with him. You're like, oh fuck, that's fucked up. And then it already starts to turn to mush. I think we go back to LA, right? No, yeah, we do. And then it's Brian O'Connor outside gripping the steering wheel, and he's doing. And guess what? And they go up a little bit. Oh, we're dropping Jack off of school. A lot of time's passed. All right, cool.
Dropping Jack off to the world's hottest kindergarten teacher.
Why?
I don't know.
So weird.
I thought they were gonna lay a thread of like she was gonna hit on him or something, but it was just no. She's just,
I think that's where they were kind of going, where it was like he's not
Maybe.
living that exciting life
good point.
anymore,
Because
and now this
Mia
girl
does
is
say
like,
the whole thing of like he doesn't miss the cars or the girls. He
missed the bullets.
They miss the bullets. Eat bullets. I eat violin. You'll get used to it eventually. That's what I'm afraid of. And he drives away. And so then he's driven away. And then maybe we go to The Rock. Maybe we go to Dominic and we go to Letty. And they're like fucking doing their thing. And
They're having
being-
issues.
And he drives her somewhere. Oh, Race Wars.
Race Wars.
We fucking invented Race Wars. Hector's back, everybody.
Yeah,
the
that's
universe
right.
continues. And Letty beats the shit out of this guy because he don't go over 900,000 RPMs. And then he'll fucking blow his granny clutch in the 5th if he does this thing. And he does. Dom was right.
The granny
And-
clutch falls
Iggy
everywhere.
Azalea's there for like 2 seconds.
Cool Greg, did you see this?
Horrible, dude.
Cool Greg!
I was like, I knew this was gonna happen.
stop being a bully. Not to Cool Greg.
I'm not being a bully to Cool Greg. I'm just pointing things out.
Here he
There
goes.
he goes.
Cool Greg, did you do your homework last night and watch Fast 7 or Furious 7? Yeah. Tell me how fucking hype you got when Iggy Azalea was at Race Wars.
Just like,
So Letty wins and
so
she comes back and everybody's like, "You're back, Letty, you're back!" Like and she starts just flashes all sorts of shit.
Yes, the idea is here is he's trying to figure out how to get her to trigger these memories, right? So to get her memory back. And this time, boy, it happens. And she punches Hector in the fucking
and Hector
face.
grabs her way too friendly, and then she just turns
Yeah.
like clocks for Hector, and then she races off. And like
Never could take a
clearly,
punch,
she's
Hector.
going through a lot of shit, and Dom sees it, and then Hector's like, "Well, your girl's got a punch." Never could say. And then he's like, "I'm glad you're back,
Right,
Dom."
right.
And he's like, "You just got punched by my girlfriend, secret wife, and she drove away. I don't have time for your shit right now. All right, Hector."
Hector.
And Hector's
God damn
just,
it, Hector.
and the thing is this, I think Hector gets like the worst of all this movie because he's just trying to have a good time in the sun. And he got punched in the face and then disrespected by Dom.
mind. He didn't mind.
It's fucked up. I'm just saying
yeah,
Hector
bros.
deserves a lot more respect than
Bros.
this.
I
I'm
want to
saying.
give a shout out to the Ready Set Go scene because these movies, those are iconic, right? We got Rita Ora last week. We got of course the Ready Set Go from Tokyo.
And we got a
Drift.
girl this week
And
that
then we
was
got
wearing
this-
a scrunchie around her waist and
It's
just
like,
panties.
What the fuck is going on?
They cut to the back and I was like, that's not even a skirt.
James Wan's fucking cinematography choices in this movie are so rad.
Yeah.
How many times
Yeah.
does
The
this
camera
camera
change
spin?
with you.
And it's like, I feel like this movie.
I like
it was
that.
invented.
But I will say, as for cinematography,
cool.
yes. For editing, though, I don't like his litigious or liberal use of shitty slow mo. That happens like every you know, they
Was
have to
that
like
a
they
throwback
digitally
to
do
one?
slow mo. I don't know, man.
Because
I just don't like when they do that.
They had that scene where like it was like multiples again. And it's just like, why are you doing this? You don't have to do these kind of things.
Yeah.
But my only thought was like, well, they did that in one. Maybe he's trying to make it feel like more.
No, I just think I think what happens is in the editing room, they're like, it'd be real cool if this was slow mo. And then the James Wan's like, well, we didn't film it slow mo. And the guy's like, it's okay. I'll just right click, speed, 50%.
Sure.
It's fine. And it's just shitty because it's always shuttery.
But that shot of her saying Ready Set Go, it had one of the camera spins. But also, I don't know, I don't remember what transition it was. I think it was
When it flips.
from Paul Walker to get into Race Wars, maybe.
Paul Walker wasn't in Race Wars.
I know.
he's scene.
But
He's
the camera did thing of the car going off, and then the camera flips and then
over.
the Vin Diesel's car goes. And I'm
Yeah.
like, that is so. It's the same shot we saw in like Black Panther when he walks
I never
into
thought-
the room,
the
or like in
upside
Thor Ragnarok when they walk in. It's fucking so cool.
So Letty races off, and Dom's like, I know where she's going. And he races off, and she went to her grave, and she's standing at her grave. And Dom walks up to the grave, and he's got a sledgehammer. He's like, oh, fucking crush this thing. And she's like, Dom, you understand? I did die. That's me.
I thought it was funny. It's not funny anymore.
Every time you look at me, you see her, but that's not me. And you have 15 years of memories, and I don't have them, and that sucks. That's too much pressure. She's got to go her own way. And she says, I got to go my own way. And so she goes her own way, to which I immediately responded like, why are you making this awkward? You're going back to my house. You're getting your stuff. Like, let's talk.
Let's just go
what do you want me to do?
together.
You want me to go
Fight
eat an burger? You want you to text when you're done? I digress.
I like to think that, like, no matter what happens at the end of the day, the entire cast goes to In-N-Out Burger. Like, guys, we fought some terrorists today, but it'd be real good.
In-N-Out Burger.
The Corona.
Sure.
Yeah. Fucking Coronas. In this
I just want to
goddamn
shout outs to her. I feel like there was much better acting in this movie from her.
I
There was-
agree.
Yeah.
When she's happy in the Race Wars, I was like, man, I've never seen her actually look happy before.
Well,
Across the board, I thought Michelle Rodriguez in this movie was like, oh, you're not terrible.
and I think, honestly, it's because they actually gave her character some depth in this. Like, they actually gave her something to do. She's trying to figure out who she used to be. She's got this love affair with this guy that she loves, but realizes that she has this past with. It's a very conflicting thing. And this is the only time Letty's ever done anything more than, like, in the script when you're reading it, just Letty, look at someone brood. Just brood.
Yeah.
Oh,
Just
Letty,
broody.
mad. Letty,
She also
great fight
she
scene
does
in the
in this
last
one.
one.
I think I misspoke last episode saying that she only had one conversation with Brian in the entire
Yeah,
series.
yeah.
That was the first she's had so far. She does have one more line in this. She goes, "You good?" After she does
That was
the
awesome.
car
That
whip.
was really, really
scene.
good.
That's the
That was
best
really, really
scene.
great. And she walks away. And then we jump over to the fucking DEA CIA Super Special Ops headquarters where The Rock works with Elena. Let me get there. I had it that time. Come on. Who's got a new haircut?
Yeah,
New haircut.
looking good.
And so he's there just fucking stamping things. And she comes in and she's like, you're just not happy, man. Stamp papers. Sorry, these guys got it way too easy. And he's like, yeah, I got to hit the iron. Explaining why he's so sweaty. I got to pump the iron or whatever.
He was drying off at least.
I
this
didn't,
time.
I didn't catch that because I was like, why is he just sweaty right now?
I
guess I missed that
I
a lot.
thought that
Because he had
was-
the big sweat thing with the underarm. I was like, did they just give up on fucking toweling the Rock?
The AC's broken.
I'm telling you
When
right
he's there
now.
after hours, he turns off the AC.
Rock, if you're
Yeah, save
watching
some
this,
money.
I will gladly come
not.
for free to the next Fast and
I don't like where
Furious
this is
and be
going.
your towel boy.
I don't like where this is
I will be
going.
your fluffer towel. What do they call them? Fluffers, towel boys.
That's
That is
not
not
the
what they
same
call
thing.
it.
That's
That is
not
not
the same
it.
thing.
You
Whatever
were
you
about
need,
to get a
Rocky.
response from The Rock until you said
Whatever you
fluffer.
need, Rocky.
Dude,
We're there
I
for
don't
you.
like that we gave up on reaching out to Vin Diesel.
I'm still holding on hope.
Greg's trying to get verified on Instagram. He's trying not to break any terms of services.
Come on. Well, once I get it, if Tim would have just gotten me the verification, I would have used it for good, and we would have Vin Diesel on the show right now.
Oh.
Yeah. Here's what I'm gonna say.
pop out of the wall.
If I was Instagram verified,
right here.
he would fucking do the plot for us. All right. So yeah, right, and then Elena's like, all right, I'm gonna go home, boss. All right, see you later. And then he picks up an envelope and you're like, what the fuck? And he walks outside. He's like, here it is. It's your letter of recommendation. Every word of it's true. She's like, yeah. And everybody's, yeah. Then Rock goes back inside like, I did a good deed, even though I'm letting the bird fly. You know what I mean? She was
You gotta
great
do
with
sometimes.
me, but she's gonna be better wherever the fuck she's gonna go. Space Force. I'm gonna walk, and he walks in. He's like, what the fuck? Jason Statham, Lex Luthor's over there. Jason Statham's at my computer, and he walks in. Jason Statham,
Hold on.
exactly, and they just have a great. Rock has a bunch of great lines here, just a bunch of great
Oh my
fucking
God,
lines.
Yes.
And then it's fine. And he doesn't have his gun. And then it's time for it to fucking pop off. And Statham gets up and runs at him. And they smash through the glass. And they're rolling over things. And the camera's moving all fucking crazy.
Rock bottom.
Fucking bottom.
Rock fucking bottom in this goddamn movie. These movies,
that show
so
was
many
so-
action movies are afraid to do it. When we saw The Expendables, is that the one
Yeah.
with all the fight? We get all the action stars together and you're like, he's going to give him a stunner. He's going to get, he didn't give him a stunner? Why? Why the fuck would you not do this? He gave him a rock bottom.
It's weird that this is the first time we've seen it though, because this is The Rock's third entry into the franchise,
Exactly.
and they finally
Well,
rock
this is when
bottomed
they're
it.
like,
It was
let's be crazy.
Let's go.
Yep.
Let's have we have
No more
cars
limits.
dropping out of planes
Do you
and their
think- you think-
GPS parachutes. Okay.
How much longer do we have to wait for the people's level? Like, do you think we'll get that in Fast 9?
That might be a little more difficult.
Suddenly there's like ropes he's bouncing up.
Where'd that come from?
He's bouncing off cars. So they fucking brawl and they just fucking go at it, and it's a great
fight
fucking
scene.
fight. And then Elena comes in. She's like, "I'm still here, boss. I saw gunshots or I saw a glass breaking and shit. And I'm here." Oh, and he's like, "Okay." And he's like, "Hang back, come on me, blah blah." And they're all fucking fighting over there. And then Statham throws out an Echo Dot, and it turns out this Echo Dot's like rigged to blow.
I thought it was a Roomba, but yeah.
throws out this Echo Dot, and Rock's like, "Oh, no!" And he runs over and he grabs her and turns his back, and then it blows up, and then they get blown out the window, and then he does the superhero Batman fall and lands on his back, protecting her on top of an SUV, which will always break your fall.
Yeah, naturally.
And then he
he's
looked
hurting.
out the window and he was like, "You don't know me, but you're about to."
You don't know.
I feel like I know you now.
I know your name.
So yeah, Decker Shaw, he gets away.
It cuts back to him, and it's like,
right.
what was he looking at? And he
Yeah,
had
it was
this
the
USB
Han. He had the
device
Han
that goes
thing.
to the computer, and it's Han.
Yeah.
You know where we're going.
Yeah. So yeah, we're telling him. Yeah. So we're going this time is back to Dom's house where there's a box outside with a whole bunch of Japanese stickers on it.
Yes.
And Mia's like, "You got a package, Dom?" And then this is where Dom's
From Han.
Yeah, it's from John's trying to me to some turbocharger, whatever the fuck it is. Meanwhile, this is Brian O'Connor's putting Jack in the car. This is the all CGI. I thought it was super noticeable, but again, I'm not here to dime them out for this.
Did you think his dressing improved?
Oh, Jack. They finally were like, you know what, Jack, the costume designers clearly don't know anything. You get to dress yourself, little man. And he's like, all right. I heard this movie originally ended with him shooting Deckard Shaw in the head.
Wow.
He was going to be the one that saved the day. You know what I mean?
Jack, yeah. I will say this with the costume designer. I don't know if it's by choice or if they just were like, we don't want costumes, but everything Paul Walker wears in this feels like he just walked on set and was like, I'm in
That's
Vans
Brian
and a
O'Connor.
t-shirt. And they're like,
He's wearing Converse.
He's
always.
retired.
like, but when we go, they're like, we got to take, when we do the scene that's coming, where he's like, we got to take down this fucking amazing cool bus, this armored bus with Gatling guns. Everyone,
put on my hoodie.
Just make sure you put your hoodies on. It's cold out there. You know,
Yeah.
Don't catch a cold. He's just got an unzipped hoodie on and Vans the entire time.
I do
I'm like,
appreciate.
all right,
Are you
that's-
sure they're Vans and not Converse? He wore Converse the rest of the
Converse.
series.
Are they Converse?
Yeah.
No, they're high top Vans.
No, they're high top
Really?
Vans.
Oh,
Yeah,
they
because they're
switched
the ones
over
with the
here?
Paul
white.
Walker?
I think Paul Walker's always worn
I think
Vans.
we need to know
No,
some
for
stuff.
sure he
Higher
originally
series.
wore Cons.
Maybe, but I just
What
know
the
that.
fuck?
I just know that they're the ones, the original van that's like the white stripe with the black.
Interesting.
Pretty sure
The
they're
way to
Vans.
differentiate the high top Vans have the white stripe go through them, and
Yeah.
that's how Alyssa and I have been able to tell. Like, oh, he's
I
a
remember
Vans
him always
boy.
wearing Vans, but I could be wrong.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I thought I could have sworn
I
in the
always thought
beginning.
they were Converse.
In the beginning, he started. I thought in Converse.
Yeah, they're
all-
Vans.
they're
They
Vans.
were always
Yeah.
Vans.
Wow.
Let me see these shoes. Are you talking about this new?
I
most
just remember
recent
him
one?
wearing. I was like, that's weird that he's wearing those
He used to
Vans because
wear
they're so
Converse early.
distinctive.
He did used to wear Converse.
Converse are at least in Too Fast. They're Converse.
Okay, thank you.
These are the things that matter, guys.
It is
and
the things
also
that
in
matter.
Fast 1. They're Converse.
Okay. What about Fast 4?
Let me check.
I
think he
this
switched over.
plot
That
doesn't
I feel
go
like he
for
switched
one
over to
fucking
Vans right
second.
around Fast 4. I'll be honest with you, because they're Vans my brain. It doesn't matter.
I said this plot doesn't go forward till we
Oh,
figure
I
this out. As a
apologize.
man who only wears Converse, I want to fucking know.
Fast 6, he had Vans.
Fuck me.
Damn.
Yeah,
All right.
dude.
Yeah, that's
Shout out to Vans.
well.
Vans represent.
All right, so
Box on the
Fast
porch.
4. Pumas.
Oh, cool.
All right. And this is where Mia and Dom have a
so
conversation that he misses the bullets. I'm pregnant. He's not really happy with this life. Oh my God, there's a lot of stuff to unpack here. You know what I mean? And then Dom's phone rings, and we might jump back to Tokyo.
Dominic
No, we
Toretto.
don't. We jump back to Tokyo. It's the thing in front of Han's car. You don't know me, but you're about to.
Dominic Toretto.
And Dom
And then
just
we see
knows.
Han die for the 3rd time.
Just to remind you.
Not only do we see
Fuck
Hans,
us.
but there is a decidedly fast amount of detective work that Dom does in this.
Sure.
Where Dom realizes
has to be
something's
connected.
wrong. Doesn't know Han's dead yet, by the way. Just realizes that someone's threatening him.
Unknown number from Tokyo.
An unknown number from Tokyo is calling him,
His
threatening
phone
him.
did a really cool GPS thing when he like answered to it. We're in Japan, and it's like, oh,
And then he
supposed to
made
do
the of course natural logical leap where you go, someone just threatened me from Tokyo and I just got a box from Tokyo, so therefore there must be a
Well, you
giant
heard the
bomb in the
explosion.
box.
You don't know me, but you're about to. Oh, fuck.
Either way, Dom has that Batman fucking detective
we
mode,
already
and it's
used it.
amazing.
This
Yeah, remember
fits
when
the
he rewound
character.
a car
Yeah.
accident
It's
and he wasn't
amazing.
there for?
He used it again.
So he grabs
Waiting for
Mia
him
and
to
throws
grapple,
her
hook up to a
down.
fucking air
Brian O'Connor slams the van door shut and then gets his head smashed into it. The house is
That was
fucking
awesome.
leveled. I can't even imagine what Jesse would think of all this if he was still around. But then, of course, in like slow motion, she's like, Jack! And she runs to the car, and Jack's okay. Not even crying, it doesn't
Yeah,
look
no.
like. Good job,
Yeah,
Jack.
Jack didn't give a fuck.
Dude, but like,
Paul
let's
Walker
take a second
shards
though.
of glass in his head.
That fucking part was awesome.
So
Because he
cool.
was like, he realized there was something happening and he shuts the door right as the explosion happens and it pushes his fucking head against the glass.
Yeah, protect his
like,
son
that
at all
kid's like,
costs.
shit. That was, I was like,
cool.
that was really intense.
And so now we know we were being hunted. Okay, what the fuck? And then so Han's dead. And so then we're just gonna say this is where Vin goes to Japan. And Vin goes to Japan and he's all over there and he's like, let's
Play the song.
let's talk to Lucas.
They play the fucking Most Def song that intros Tokyo Drift, and it's so cool. It just
so
sets
good.
the tone, man.
For a second, I felt like a complete idiot because I did go, man, Bow Wow hasn't aged. Oh fuck, they're showing the clip. I didn't realize they're showing the
I
clip.
mean, it looked good though.
Yeah.
The clip looked
Yeah,
like
no,
a
I
recent
think they
clip.
reshot that.
No, that's
The
that is
part where he's like,
Bow
hey,
Wow was still Lil Bow Wow.
Lucas Black is not the same
Lucas
Lucas.
Black is in that shot where he's like, "Hey, someone's here." He says he knows Han. That's the new Lucas
No,
Black.
that's not.
that's
Dude,
not.
it's not.
Yes, it is because
No,
his
it's
hair
not.
is
It's
super
the
thin in
same
that
shot. It's the exact same shot because
exact
Neil is there. It's the same.
I think they
shot.
got them all back.
They didn't.
Yeah.
They definitely didn't.
I don't know because I looked at him. I was like, he looks. I literally thought in my brain, I'm like, wow, they all look 10 years older than they
The
were.
only
here.
new shot was when they were hanging over the
Really?
the thing in
God,
the
what a
back.
terrible.
Yeah, because he
like,
looked a lot skinnier in the.
Yeah,
I mean, not that he's like a fat guy or anything, but
this
like
fucking guy let himself go.
he looks younger for sure. Yeah.
That'd be awesome if he had. He was just huge and they're just not acknowledging it.
But I love this was the scene that I was waiting for years for them to get
See it all
back to
tied
Tokyo,
together.
and it was over in like.
Where are you learning to
in like
drive
1 minute,
fly?
which you know what, I'm not gonna complain because like God, it was kind of torturous. But I do love the like, who says you can't drift with American muscle.
well, he won the race, huh?
He looked.
He's the new Drift King.
Of course he does. Dom never loses a race. We've
Unless he
established
wants
that no one can ever beat Dom unless he's trying to give you $1 million or whatever.
Whenever
the
you
fuck it
find
is.
out who killed Han, what are you gonna do?
What are you going to? I liked it.
He's
Yeah,
horrible.
it's-
I was like, this is
actually
fine.
a voice.
But
That's how
he
he
did
talks.
look decidedly older. I was like, you were barely,
he
you were
looked
pushing
old to
the
begin with.
you were pushing the boundaries of what a high school kid could look like, and now you look older than me.
I mean, it was a 10-year difference.
Now that by the time
he got
he
jacked though in
can
that time.
show up for Fast 9 now. He can actually pop up.
I
and do
want it
stuff.
back, definitely.
Just to be. Just get
I mean, I feel like he could be a part of the team now. I'm just saying. Like he's good. He's 37 years old now, so
Yeah,
why
he'll
let
fit
him
in.
chase? Like let him
who
become
can possibly get us through this corkscrew bridge? I know a guy.
Let's do this.
it's his Bow Wow, his dad in the back, and that girl.
his dad just wearing that dope bomber jacket, shooting out with his pistol. Like, fuck you guys.
Anyways, then what are you gonna do with Han? I'm gonna fucking end. I'm gonna blah blah blah. All right, great, cool. So he comes back to America then to bury Han. Hooray! There's a funeral scene there. We probably no, we're not there. Yeah, we are. We come back to America and we go to the Rock. The Rock wanted Elena came and got Vin goes to the hospital where Elena's like, when he woke up from his getting knocked out, he wanted you.
He woke up and he said, "Get me, Dom."
Yeah.
Which is like,
So good.
Awesome.
it's so stupid. I love it.
Tell you what though, love this next scene because they introduce the Rock's daughter,
Yeah.
and they have that great back and forth. She's like, "I heard my dad kicked your ass," and he's like, "Your dad's on a lot of pain medication. His dad's a fucking opiate
running that
addict."
right.
And then we see him swallow 8 Vicodin before he goes out. I'm like, maybe
be
the Rock
fair-
does have a problem with this.
Dom did win that fight. Right?
Sure, yeah.
Like he
Oh,
could
yeah,
have
no.
easily crushed this
He
skull
won
with
it.
the wrench.
Definitely. I like to think that the Rock held back though because he
Me
wanted to
too.
bring him in a lot.
What I appreciate a lot about this
Definitely not.
is that I went to finish the line for her when she was like, he woke up, he wanted, and I was like, get me, and I went Toretto, and he said Dom, and I was like, all right. And there's like that little difference where they are calling, he is
Yeah,
talking
friends
to
now.
Yeah,
They're
exactly,
friends now.
exactly.
Except when they see the explosion outside and he's like, Toretto.
Well, that's because he's in a more formal
okay,
setting.
got it.
It's like French, where there's like there's informal and formal.
Ustedes.
Yeah, exactly.
Ustedes.
And so Rock's like, yeah, it's this guy. He sucks. He's crazy and he's fucking insane. He's coming for you guys.
good
Get
shot.
ready for it, or whatever. And he's like, all right, cool. Well, you're saying all this in front of your daughter. No big deal. And then it's like, all right, I gotta go. And so they go to bury Han now. Now we're at the funeral.
So, but real quick, the
No
scene
more
of
funerals,
in
just
Tokyo, they gave him 2 things: the picture of Giselle,
Yeah.
being one of them,
Very cool.
and then the other,
And he
being
puts
the-
in the thing.
being
Yeah,
the
yeah.
fucking-
The
cross.
necklace. Yeah.
The cross that at this point, it's just we got to get a new cross.
which symbolizes
this thing
so
is
many
fucked up.
different things in,
Yeah.
in this franchise.
But it's also like hella bent and like kind of melted. You know,
No,
that's just
it
ugly.
was always on like hinges. So like the cross itself like goes like.
No, I mean like literally one of the
There was
sides
like
was
Hans
Oh, was
bent
it?
down,
Yeah.
brain matter on it.
Yeah,
It's
Jesus.
just, this thing's been this
Hey.
thing's,
Hey,
this
don't
thing's
shoot the
seen better
messenger.
days. Let's put it that way.
So we go to the
Also,
funeral.
it hasn't gotten bigger. Remember in the first episode, you were like, "Look at the size of it."
I don't remember that at all.
It's
I
just
kind of
Vin
black
Diesel's
out on a
getting
podcast.
huge.
It's still hideous.
Nothing said here matters.
It's still hideous.
This is
Paul's
safe space.
funeral.
Yeah, they put the Giselle photo in the frame. Everybody's there. It seems like the priest is still like giving the speech, and Dom like walks past him to the casket to then say a bunch of shit, and like how he'll settle it, and then walks back through the priest ceremony again. Whatever.
Well, this is really where Dom becomes the wise sage. Like, he's just a philosopher
Here?
this entire time. Like, he's been in that in every movie.
Yeah.
But like this, it's outrageous in this how many times, every time he says anything,
It's like, oh fuck,
it's
that's
like,
nailed it.
okay. And I actually don't like that much because he has zero arc whatsoever in this movie. He's just
He's trying to be Michelle.
It's just not that much
Trying to
fun
avenge
for
Han.
like I mean like it's just not that much fun for the main character. I'm like, he doesn't really have anything to do other than he steps in and like beats people up and says something like mildly wise and then moves on to the next scene.
But I feel like he's had his arc. He had the first and fourth movie to like develop his character and
Well,
arc. Like,
he's still got 3 hours we got to spend with this guy.
But we
Like,
have
we
also
should give him
like
something
8
interesting
other
to do.
characters that we could.
Yeah,
That-
and it's
know,
true. And to
develop,
be
yeah.
fair, Letty's character, I'm way more interested in Letty's in this, but I just wish they'd have made her more of a main character. And obviously, I'm sure they had much more planned for him to do arc-wise before Paul Walker passed.
So this,
again,
Tyrese
asterisks.
and Luda are back now too. They're super sad, which isn't what you want to see. They're not having fun in this funeral, which is like what when I die, please bring Tyrese to the funeral and tell him to be entertaining.
Tell him to like try to flirt with
funeral.
everybody.
Please, Brian, tell me no more. Yeah, exactly. Ha ha! It's your birthday, Andy. Get up, and he's crying.
It's not my birthday, but I'll still go to Funhouse.
So yeah, and Dom sees the car that's too nice to be at a funeral. You know he's here.
sick
Yeah, we know
Maserati.
he's here. And the car pulls away, and then Dom goes and chases it, and they chase each other through the streets of LA, and they're just vroom, 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 vroom.
Probably one of my least favorite
chases.
chases scenes. I'm like, this seems like a weird extended
I-
thing where I feel like they were just trying to establish we're back in LA.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't love the Statham stuff in this movie. I love Statham, but it just feels like every time he pops up, he's an afterthought. And even this scene, you're like, why wouldn't they just shoot him? I don't understand why.
Yeah.
Like he just like they set him up as this ultimate badass, and then he doesn't really do anything smart or clever. He's just constantly chasing them and
teams up with
showing
the
up
other
in
guy.
places
Yeah,
and
when he
trying to
teams
kill them, but they were like, you can't kill us, which. Again, upon third viewing, I was like, okay, this is why we need the God's Eye. I totally get it. Like, he's never, whatever. But I just feel like Statham's like, he just keeps popping up randomly and not doing anything.
I love all
you're
of his
like,
scenes, like, because I love that he does really feel like a match to Vin specifically, and like I love,
but not
throughout
the,
the
but
movie,
not the team. That's
exactly.
my thing.
But I feel like they really are just setting the two of them up against each other. That's why I feel like every time that they kind of clash throughout the movie, it's like it builds and builds and builds to the final end where they are having a gruesome fight together. And it's awesome. But I agree with you where
just
him
seems kinda
just
pointless.
popping up
yeah.
feels very weird, and like
We didn't need him
know
in the
that
Abu Dhabi scene. Like, why? Like, we didn't need that.
and he's in every, like, he just keeps knowing where they are.
Like,
and
that
then
could have
popping
just
up with
been
them.
more guards
He's former
that came in to
MI6,
shoot
all right? He's
everyone.
a ghost.
I get that. It's just I felt like it was for a movie that I understand I shouldn't be questioning like the logic
logic
of
of
it
it,
or
yeah.
whatever. I do think that it was weird that they always had something else to be doing and then he would just come.
Yeah, and I
Cool
think
scenes, but
and
just weird plot wise.
I understand it, but I feel like they could have, like, they needed to have those different planes of actions because they have so many characters in this, and I totally get that. But I think it makes his character less ominous when he keeps fucking up, like he keeps showing up and he can't kill them, and it's like a Scooby-Doo villain where he's like, I'll get you guys next
He
time.
got away
We're like,
again.
No, dude, you have a sniper rifle. Like, why did you just shoot him? Like, why? Like.
He couldn't get the shot.
You could have
there.
just shot, like, he could just kill them at any time. That's the concept. So why does he why are his plans so goddamn ornate that he has to, like, I gotta get up the skyscraper and then come in and shoot you? Oh no, they're gone. Well, I'll get them next time.
I
That's
feel like
just
a
weird.
couple of the times it seemed like he was trying to like outsmart them and steal whatever they were going for, and that's cool. But the LA one, it's like, what was the plan? Like,
Yeah,
were
I don't
you
know.
just trying to get Dom separated so you can kill him?
I think so.
And
He
if
was about
so,
to kill Dom,
why
right?
not just kill everyone at the funeral?
Put a
You killed
bomb
an
in Han's
entire
face.
hospital worth of
you
SWAT
killed
guys.
Han.
Yeah, you killed
fucking
Han.
asshole.
Like-
He respects family. You know what I mean?
mean,
But he doesn't. Remember he sent a bomb
This
to their
is
house?
just like Fast 6, where the enemy was like, "Don't disrespect your opponent." You know what I mean? We got to respect them, and that's what he's doing. He's like, "I want you." This is the whole thing of like, he's twisting the knife. He could kill them all real quick, but he wants them to go to these funerals and be sad. He wants to fucking shoot Dom in a street fight after a head-on collision with a reinforced chassis that
Yeah.
didn't even hurt Dom that much.
No.
It's
It
like
turns
going
out-
into the ring with a loaded boxing glove.
Kevin, he only sent the bomb to the house to blow up the house. Like he knew that they would be
Fucking
safe.
good point.
Smart enough.
It's like
That's
a
the
real,
way he
it's a
called
real
him.
estate
Yeah, you
move.
think so?
Really.
It makes sense.
Like, they want
He's
to
trying
like
to
an
get the air
NPR.
rights. He's trying to get the air rights
It's just
above the
funny.
house,
He's
build
like,
the skyscraper.
He says like, you brought my family into this with the younger Shaw getting hurt. And he's like, but yeah, you then sent
what I
a
told
bomb
your
to my
brother.
family house and blew it up.
Yeah. Also,
Well,
you
that's what
killed
he
my
had
friend,
for-
so we're pretty
Yeah.
much even.
Yeah, I feel
right?
like even.
It's not a friend.
And
Family, yeah.
Owen's not dead.
Yeah.
So it's like, hey man, like
Well,
are we
he's
cool?
in a coma, right?
I feel like this
Scarred
whole
real bad,
movie
too.
on that call, he'd be like, whoa, let's just talk this out.
Well, hey,
You killed Han? I mean, you're forgiven.
I don't know you. I want to get to know you.
But
Let's
let's
be cool.
let you come. I got a barbecue.
Anyways,
Don't blow
yeah,
up my
so
house.
they race around, they hit it in this head-on collision, loaded thing, blah, blah, blah. Vin gets out and he's going to do a street fight, but guess what? It's not a street fight. He brought a gun. You think it's going to be a street fight? And then guess what? Just fucking Navy SEALs and Black Ops guys are coming in through the roof, and they're the worst shots ever.
Just inept. We even see a part where he literally
it's like
takes
me
off
and
on
Joey
foot.
running in with AKs trying to stop people.
It's just, I don't like the scene at all. I'm like,
Yeah,
this is
it's
dumb. They should have ended this
And
in a
then
different way.
yeah, exactly.
He should have gotten away.
Shaw's
He
like,
should have
hey, he just
bested
runs
Sean.
back and then up a staircase, and the other guys are behind him.
Yeah,
and he
there's
gets
just
away.
8 guys after him. Like, oh, I guess we'll kill them.
Oh,
Instead of
yeah,
killing
we've
them.
seen him fuck up.
Yeah, I
that's
know,
fair.
but it's just like it was a weird thing. And so yeah, then they surround Vin. He's not having that. He starts choking one of them, and then Mr. Nobody walks in. Kurt
Mr.
Russell
Nobody,
himself.
Kurt Russell. Denzel Washington was reportedly offered to take part in the 7th installment of the Fast and the Furious, but he turned down the undisclosed role. His role ultimately went to Kurt Russell.
Nice. And he's like, listen, man, we're all here for the same. I'm not going to hurt you. This isn't what I can get you some beer if you come with me right now. At which point Greg Miller would have been like, let's go. I'm done. I'm in.
How much do you want to live in that hangar where they just have endless kegs of Belgian ale?
Seeing as how we've had our kegs out for 3.5 months, for some reason we can't fix it.
Do we need them
Real bad.
replaced?
I hate you.
If someone had
I've
just
told
me,
you repeatedly
No
to do
one's-
it.
no
I like
one's
what he
told me.
like, Kevin, we talked about this. Oh, we never talked about it.
When are we talking about it, Nick?
Kevin's trolling me, I know. Anyways, though, so that's what's happening. And if you come with me, I can get you Deckard Shaw. And he's like, wah, and he's like, okay. So he goes there. We go to this Black Ops base in El Segundo, close to the Square Enix office. We got,
Important detail.
but it's off-site. You don't know.
How much fun is it to say El Segundo
El
for you?
Segundo.
El Segundo.
And they're there and they're drinking. It's a Belgian beer. The monks got it right. I'm more of a Corona man. Oh, I just happen to have this bucket of Coronas. Awesome, cool.
Showing he knows Vin Diesel.
Exactly,
He knows
exactly.
the family. I love the introduction of this Mr. Nobody character because it really is just
It's
kind of
the
like,
most
this
random-
is where the franchise is at now. This is why they have access to government stuff.
Yeah.
He is the MacGuffin. He
Yeah,
is that guy.
he's-
It's like, he literally Mr. Nobody. Who gives a fuck? He
doesn't
can do
care.
anything he
The
wants.
elusive man.
But
He
he's
gets them
also
anything they
cool.
want.
Like,
He's nice. Yeah, you're
there's
wait.
definitely, like, jumping forward a little bit. There's the moment where they're like,
Are you gonna fuck us?
Are you gonna fuck us?
They give him God's
And he's
eye.
just like,
All right, cool,
here
there
it
you go.
is.
Get Shaw.
What do you want to do? Let's fuck these
That was
people
what- that
up.
was
And
the
it was
thing,
like,
right?
all right, I'm
Also,
in.
There
dope
was the concern.
Aquaman body armor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
there
yeah,
was the
dragons.
concern,
Fucking
right, that he
awesome.
was going to be just stereotypical, turn his back, screw
fuck
you
you.
at the
Yeah,
end.
of
He
course,
doesn't. It was
of course,
great.
yeah.
I like that a lot. And so, yeah, that's the thing. Is like, oh, well, yeah, you would. And look at the whole thing. He's like, well, that's why, basically, you get me God's eye, then you can get Shaw. We need to get the hacker Ramsey. They got Ramsey somewhere. You need to get them. You get that. We get God's eye. We go for Shaw, and everything's cool. You drink all the beer you want.
Now he brings up a good point here, which is something that's a one line that actually I think is very important. Where he goes, "Why don't I just wait?" He's like, "Why do I need God's eye? Why don't I just wait for him to come to us?" And then Kurt Russell's like, "How's that been working out so far?" So that is like,
Yeah.
it's thin,
but it
but
gets
it,
enough
I'm like,
reason.
okay, we got to go get this thing so we can track this guy down and bring more forces. Take the fight to him. That kind of makes sense. That was a criticism I had of the movie the first time. I was like, wow, hey, this guy just shows up everywhere they're at. Why don't I just fucking wait and like spring an ambush? But he's a ghost.
It's a good call. He was like,
Also-
you got a dead friend, house blown up.
Yeah. You're 0 for 3. Did you see that thing that people were tweeting at us that was talking about how Corona's not actually product placement?
Yeah.
They just like Coronas.
That makes sense. I mean, yeah, that's the thing is like,
At
it's,
this point,
paying him at all.
like, it's upsetting
them.
that Corona hasn't reached out and been like, all right, man, here's some money.
here's some
Well,
more.
it's like
yeah.
LaCroix. We talk about LaCroix too much. They'll never pay for it now.
Yeah, exactly. Why would they?
You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
it's
they-
interesting. And
no.
I read that entire article, and I want to believe in it more than I actually do.
I
Because they're like,
doubt it.
oh, it's about character development, all this, and I get that. But this movie, as we just proved on this episode, does not stay consistent with this stuff. Like, I was convinced that Converse were like part of Paul's character. Nah, they weren't. Like Corona, you're trying to tell me that like, oh, that's throughout the whole thing. No, it was in 1, it was in 6, and it's in 7, but it wasn't in 4 and it wasn't in 5. Like he
Really?
was drinking other beer. Yeah.
Oh, well, but they were on the run.
I get that.
There
but
probably was a
still.
deleted scene somewhere where it was like, I just wish I could get a Corona, but here in the Dominican Republic.
Just
or
so
whatever.
everyone knows, I'm still hard on Corona. Like, yeah, I like
Love
Corona.
Corona, dude. Love Corona. I love Corona. I'll pay $1 million for Corona.
I know where my $11 million is going. Corona.
Corona stocks are up right now. I'm gonna really go for one. You know what I'm saying?
I like how your Vin Diesel is
It's just
Sylvester
Rocky.
Stallone.
It's just Rocky. I can't do it. So cool. I'm in, but I'll have to use my team. And he's like, we already took the liberty of getting your team, and they all roll in. Like, man, these guys all
They're
got in the
really
car
good,
with these
yeah.
people. All right, cool.
I
whatever.
bet you Kurt Russell was like super stoked that they came in at the right time.
Totally. Fuck. Can you imagine if they got there too early or too late?
Stay back for a bit,
Yeah.
okay?
We got your
mention-
team. Like, hold up. Wait, one
Wait,
second.
hold on. Hey, did you see the game last night? Oh, here they are. Okay. Here, come on.
So they go down there and they're looking at the giant iPad that I want real bad. I would kill for this coffee table. They're looking at that and they're doing the pinch and the zooms on this thing. They introduce Shepard, this guy over there.
Is he Clint Eastwood?
No.
Son?
No, Scott Eastwood is in, I think, spoilers, I think he's in the
Gotcha.
8.
Okay. I don't know who the fuck this guy was.
Shepard's just a
Why
random
was he a
dude.
character?
Useless.
No idea.
Oh, so
I
that
think he's
when
the
he
one that's
when he
supposed to be
dies, we'd
stupid.
be like, oh,
Did he die?
yeah.
And that's,
God
that's,
damn it.
No, I didn't notice.
Yeah.
that, no,
I
we
could not
don't
give a
talk
shit
about
about him,
that.
though.
No,
He did die.
that was a big moment.
The camera did go to him, but I'm like,
We don't care.
When
In
did
fact,
he die?
the guy's so annoying. I'm like, kind of
He was
good riddance.
barely even the dude with the super dark black dyed hair that The Rock had in Fast 5.
Yeah,
Like, he
you're
was
right.
barely even that guy.
I remember when production stills were coming out for this movie, like when leaked set pics and whatever, and of course I'm looking at that shit. And there was a scene of them getting out of a car, and he was in the background, and you only saw part of his head, and it was kind of like that Captain Marvel thing from Infinity War, where we were like, "Oh shit, is that Captain Marvel in between them?" And it ended up not. Everyone was like, "Holy shit, it's Lucas Black! Like it's the character from Tokyo Drift." It's not. It's this fucking other guy.
Useless
Why
dude.
wasn't it Tokyo Drift guy?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I think
no
he was
idea.
used to establish, of course, that hey, he is smart. Because right, that was the thing. At the giant iPad, they're all pinching and zooming, and finally Tyrese is like, "I need to lead one time. I want to lead sometime. Let me lead." And I got you lead right now. He's like, "I don't mean right now." They're like,
Yeah.
"No, fucking do it or whatever.
Good sign.
Pick
Good-
where we're
good
in
moment.
attack."
Yeah.
He's like, "We attack right here in the center of the thing on the top of the mountain." And that's when Shepard gets to be like, "You know what?" And this is what I liked about it, Andy. If you want to follow me on this one, I think it's an alternate universe where this is not Commander Shepard. It's the man who would become Commander Shepard if everything went right. But he didn't because he gets killed.
I see. Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure they
Mass
just,
Effect references,
Pretty sure
by
they
the way.
just put this character in so he could be the stupid one, and Mr.
What do you mean the
and
stupid
Mr.
one? The entire
Nobody-
team is the stupid one.
No,
What?
but what they need,
Tyrese. Thank you.
they needed to be a character that when
Product placement works, guys. I'm thirsty. I'm parched.
there's always a character that like is the one that doesn't get it. And he's the audience, so you can explain it to him,
Right.
right? And so that's what this character was. And it couldn't be Kurt Russell because Kurt Russell's like,
Knows
I have
everything.
everything down, like I know everything. So they had to have a character that was fucking obliviously dumb, who had have no. You can't do that. Oh, we're better than you. We'll figure
But
it out.
it
What
was-
do you
We'll
mean
figure it
he's
out.
obliviously dumb though? He walked around the table and was like, "This is why it's a bad idea. This is stupid." Blah. I think if anything, he was there to establish like why
These guys are so.
It's not
out
that he's
there.
dumb. It's that he's it's outside the box thinking. And that's
Well,
why
yeah.
Kurt Russell is like, I was
I'm
impressed
sorry.
before, but
It's not
now
that
I'm
he's
super.
dumb. It's that he's there to show how much better the other characters are than the trained people.
At this thing.
At
Yeah,
this
okay,
thing.
okay. That'll give you. That'll
You really
give
like the tablet stuff. I thought it was just too much.
You know,
Andy, you want to know what I
that
want the most?
technology is close.
I want an iPad mirror. Like in my
Mirror.
Size of
bathroom.
a bed.
Sure.
And I know I've seen
You
him
can
in
you can get them now.
fuck, but not like, I don't own the place I live in, which is one thing.
sure.
But I want to be able to wake up in the morning and just like and do all that shit.
I felt like
Yeah,
they
Twitter.
put so much of a focus on it. Like they were super proud of this like
It was pretty
touchscreen
cool,
effect.
man.
But it's like it's in every fucking movie. Like every movie has this whole thing.
Yeah.
But they were just like, well, what about this? Like showing like here's my finger hitting the thing. It was just kind of annoying.
Thank you.
God, Coronas to go around. I don't want one.
Cheers, guys.
Yeah.
Mi familia.
Salud.
Salute.
Don't-
Salute, right, Barrett?
Toretto is an Italian last name, you fuck.
Salud, mi familia.
Yeah, but he says salute.
he's
It's a
Italian.
little bit weird. Like
He
I don't
says
know.
salud. It's all over the subtitles.
It's
Oh yeah, but
Solid.
like, you're
It's,
gonna trust
let's
the
just
guy
put it
that
this
wrote
way.
the
It's
subtitles?
ambiguous as to what ethnic background Dominic Toretto is in these.
Fair.
Nothing like when my
Italian
mom would
last
make
name.
tortillas and meatballs. Like, wait, what?
There's no other references, but it's like Toretto's a very that's an Italian last name.
Anyways, all right, we're doing Tyrese's plan. We're landing. We're gonna go up there. How are we gonna get there? Oh, I got an idea. I'm Ludacris. You're awesome, Ludacris. We love you. Great job. And then it's like they look over and then they start breaking up. And then Kurt Russell's like, all right, and now your team's complete. And Letty walks in and she's like, let's do this. We gotta do this thing.
She's like, I don't remember anything about my past, but I do remember everything about my past that doesn't have to do with you, because I'm a badass and I can fight.
That's
Muscle memory,
instinct.
dude.
If
Muscle
you were a
memory.
badass, you'd understand like me. It's instinct.
You're
Fair
a badass.
enough.
I wake up in the morning. Sometimes I hear a noise. I was like,
kick.
I don't know why I'm punching Portillo, but I'm doing it. I just gotta know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the whole dialogue with Tyrese. Like, it's
real fun.
Roman Reigns is the best in this movie that he's been so far, and like he's
Roman
been
Pierce.
pretty damn great.
I was gonna say Roman Reigns.
Roman Pierce.
Welcome back to the WWE. The Roman Reigns.
Give me a job.
He announced his cancer.
I am in remission. Woo! Everybody went crazy. I kind of cried a little bit. It was good.
And then somebody ran in dressed as a tumor and hit him with a chair. Oh my God. I had cancer. I can make that joke.
Andy, did you go back to the Walmart to get a different colored hoodie?
No, this is from Amazon.
Oh, okay.
It's a good hoodie though.
Thanks, man.
So now it's time for the job. I'm probably missing something that stitched this together, but
Well, I
whatever.
think we just go right into the.
Great. So we wake, and it's Roman Reigns sitting there going, in my yard. He's in the car, and he's all nervous, and they're, you freaking out? No, I'm not freaking out. Why would he be freaking out in a car? They drive cars all the time. Guess what? The cargo plane opens its butt, and then it's like, you're up in the air. You want some fresh air, Roman? You're about to get a lot of it. Yeah, Luda!
Loving Luda.
The cars just start going out. They just start falling, and Brian says, "Oh shit!" and they're all falling, and then they, wow, it's cool.
The oh shit is important because
It's repurposed.
throughout the movies. He says oh shit a lot, like when he's in different scenes.
It's always great
And
moments
we
too.
get the
They
slow mo
nail it.
oh shit in when the car
in
flipped
silent, yeah.
in 6.
Yeah.
But it's key because later Vin Diesel for the first time.
Oh, really?
Like he doesn't say oh shit, but he says it with his face.
He's always
Okay, that
composed.
It's like
doesn't count.
he's always composed doing the most crazy action scenes, but it's like when he does the skyscraper jump, like you see him and he's like, it's the first time you see him have fear, and I love it.
Wow, okay. I missed that characterization, but I liked it. So they all jump out in their cars, and then guess what, everybody? Roman, he's not about it. He can't do it. And it's funny. It's real funny. You know what I mean? He's just like,
I'm just gonna sit up here with the pilot.
Yeah, we're going to circle around, make sure everything's, hold it down up here. And then they go, Taj, and he's like, I got it. And he blows a secondary parachute.
I'm really sorry about
That
this.
pulls
Roman.
Roman out. Well, then it puts him into the most nightmare scenario of the cars just tumbling end over end over end over end. And I would be like, I would kill Taj.
I want to say that Luda's a genius.
He is.
But I also want to say that maybe they could have come up with some mechanism they could control, like which way, like a parachute.
Everyone else landed where they needed to.
Exactly.
Because,
I just feel like
literally all of Roman's fears come true because he just couldn't jump. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
could have jumped.
And so he tumbles, everybody's going. Then they start blowing their chutes, and then there's
What
one
an
throwaway line.
amazing scene.
So good.
One throwaway line that, hey, they're all GPS shoots, so as long they're gonna go off. Well, actually, they're GPS shoots, so as long as they go off, they should get you where you need to be. But you still need to manually deploy them, which I was like, that's all.
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
Yeah, whatever. Give them something to do.
I was so scared of like as they're deploying, like they
Yeah,
pull
no, like
back,
how are they gonna hit
cars
each
just
other, right?
collide
Yeah,
and stuff.
But they don't. They all land except Roman, who spins off into the woods to be seen later.
A little fact of the Furious. When asked how many cars were used for the high octane franchise, McCarthy said approximately 350 cars were used in this film, and a couple hundred of them were destroyed. This is mainly because multiple cars are needed for one shot at one location. So like think about that, right? Like the whole team has their own cars, and they need multiple versions of each of those cars.
Oh yeah, let's put it this way: every time they drop a car from like higher than 4 feet, it destroys the suspension.
Yeah.
It's gone. It bends the frame. They're gone.
He further revealed that they needed 34 cars, including 6 Subaru WRXs, 8 Dodge Chargers, 8 Challengers, 6 Jeeps, and 6 Camaros for the car skydiving scene. The cars were dropped out of the plane again and again in order to create the spectacular shot. He revealed that they lost 3 or 4 cars in the process.
Why wouldn't they
They just disappeared?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I feel like that would be at the point if I was a producer, I'd be like,
Can you imagine being you're just chilling and you come home one day and in your backyard there's a Dodge Charger that landed with a parachute? Like, fuck yeah. There's like things in the news like Fast and Furious looking for a Dodge Charger. Like, I don't know where they are.
So
That's weird. I don't know what happened.
Like, so crazy stunts. The last fact I have and just to kind of like put these together was, it was reported that a vehicular stunt scene was shut down by Universal executives who feared for the safety of the cast and crew. According to TMZ, it was a critical scene that was supposed to involve a souped-up yellow Chevelle that would race another car and dramatically pop a wheelie as bystanders stand right by the track and cheer. Though James Wan and the producers already hired drivers who are authentic street racers for the scene, the executives claimed it was too risky to be included in the film, especially after the death of Paul Walker. The report further revealed that the producers also thought another car crash could jeopardize the entire franchise.
Is James Wan the music video guy?
No.
Who's the music video guy?
Britney Spears.
You talking about Taylor Swift's person?
Yes.
That's Joseph Kahn.
Joseph Kahn.
Joseph Kahn. Wan Kahn.
The cars land. They race off. Roman's off in the woods. They're coming up on the convoy here. We got a big. We're gonna take this convoy rocking through the night. You know the song, Tim?
No.
No, of course not. It's
We're
from the
gonna take
70s.
this convoy.
Ain't she a beautiful
Yeah, I
sight?
understand.
Come on and join our convoy. Ain't nothing gonna get in our way. Hey. Okay, anyways, across you. Anyways,
I think we broke Barrett.
Yeah, Barrett got real hyped about that.
Barrett loves a good convoy. Anyways, they all start racing up on this giant bus that's got Ramsey Ramsey on it. We need to get Ramsey off it. Him, we assume. We drive up. There's some cars there. They got Gatling guns. They pop up. All hell's breaking
Only
loose.
one car seems to be bulletproof. That seems like a mistake.
Well, they kind of are. They kind of aren't. Like the windshields are bulletproof, but only one car is fully bulletproof. Because like Vin's car takes all the shots of those things, and he never flinches. He's never like moving or anything. Anyways, but yeah, they need to fucking get behind Luda's giant tank thing. He runs up. They all get behind him, and they all accelerate, and then they make one giant fucking human caterpillar that knocks everybody off.
Human caterpillar.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you're going.
No,
Caterpillar.
I'm sorry. Oh,
Caterpillar
I can
turns into a
handle
butterfly.
does it have 100 fucking legs?
You dumb
No.
fuck.
Oh shit,
Idiots.
Damn, that's a really good point.
Fucking moron. Knocks those two cars off. Now they're on the bus. They shoot the fucking
Tony Jaw's there. You're like, oh fuck.
They shoot the hooks in the back, and then they're like, now blow it. And the other people have the other things to blow it. I was like, all right, I don't follow.
Yeah, they drove up first and shot.
Oh, did they?
Shot the
I
bomb.
forgot
Yeah,
that.
they shot the bomb.
Thank you.
Which I
was like-
thought was going to be a callback from 6,
Yep.
where it just
Locks up the tires.
locks up the tires, which would have been smart.
I thought I was gonna de-hack all their hacking.
Do you think
stuff
at some
or
point someone's
whatever.
like, wouldn't it just be easier if the bus stopped? Like, what if we just stopped the bus?
That was more
at
me
any
with
point-
like Vin and Ramsey going back and forth with Deckard Shaw. It's like, why doesn't he stop? Like, why? And then he goes, fuck, and then you
Like
reverse and
even
go
the
that way.
bus driver, like I kind of understand the bus driver's there, but like at a certain point, you're like, we've lost. Like I'm the last guy on this bus. Just stop it, get out, raise your hands.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Well, he never was. He always had the
Tony Jaa.
Tony, who's
Jaa.
that?
He's from Anbach.
So good.
You know, but he's
Action hero.
driver has mind control. He's being mind controlled.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They blow
Extended
it, they
version.
threw the
Best
thing back,
guys.
they kill a bunch of people back there. There's Gatling guns on the side. They've been shooting, and that's why everybody ought to fall back at some point. They go, all right, Brian, you're up. To Nick's point, Brian in a hoodie climbs out of his car. They start pushing his car up from behind, and he just jumps
not
on
even
there.
zipped. I'm like, that's kind of dangerous. Like that thing can like come up your arm or something.
Yeah. No capes.
Whatever.
He looks like he just got off of work like at CVS or something.
Yeah,
Like, it's
literally, like,
Brian,
hey
come
guys,
on.
I was just picking my kid up from school and I got the call, so I'll come
I'm
over.
a dad now, guys. Oh, by the way, Mia went to the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
That was totally a
She's guarded.
shoved in scene. She's
Yeah.
at the Dominican
What's
Republic.
she doing? That.
Brian, she had a moment there with CG Brian where he was like, had set up all this shit there and then he was like freaking out about leaving her, but he had to leave her.
How did they not like? How do they know that Ramses wasn't in the back of the bus that they blew up?
They, you know,
You know what I mean? Like, 'cause, like, what if she was? What if that was a jail cell?
like the cage,
It was-
and
yeah.
Logan.
Yeah, they had done some. They
It
did
was
some
Dom's
recon.
detective vision.
Yeah.
He clicked in.
She was in a vehicle, so he knew.
He clicked in
So
right
Brian's
3
in
and
there
L3.
and he's fighting everybody, and the fucking guys from Army of Two are there. They got the fucking hockey masks. They're there, and everybody's fighting, and they all get clowned out.
Great reference.
And then it's just
Great
down.
reference.
It's just down to Tony Jaa.
Wow.
Jaw.
Tony Jaa and him are fighting. Really cool fight.
Horrifying.
Tony Jaa is kicking his ass.
Man.
But Brian's hanging in there. He's hanging in there the
And
best
he's
he can.
relentless. He just like comes after you and like he doesn't stop, dude.
Yeah. Oh no, nobody stops. You know that's the
Scary,
thing.
Tony.
And he's doing like flip kicks, and he's doing like weird cartwheels, and he's like, he's got a bit of the parkour in him.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know what I mean? And we'll see this later in the
will.
in the Brian fight scene. But right now he's parkouring all over the fucking place. Well, I guess this is you know what I mean. And so, but eventually he tries to get the gun, and Brian takes the gun away, and it shoots the bus driver, and the bus starts going back and forth because there's a body on it when easily it should have gone off the thing. By the way, yeah, Vin Diesel. Oh no. Yeah, no, he gets whatever. He
gets Ramsey
He got
out.
Ramsey, tossed her into Vin's car finally. Vin's driving away,
on.
but now, yeah, well, you know what I mean. And then you got Statham's chasing him. And they're hitting each other, and they're going and doing their thing, and they eventually went off in a different way, and the bus is doing its thing, and it's all up there. And so then let's just finish the bus storyline. The bus is up there, and that's happened. We kill the bus driver. Things going crazy. The Tony Tony. What's the thing on
Yeah.
Tony?
TJ.
right?
Changes.
Donor. Made in a cave with a box of scraps. Let's watch Iron Man, guys.
MC review. Up next. We're doing it again.
Tony jumps out of the thing. Brian's left all alone to try to figure it out, but he can't get a good grip on it. The things are going crazy. Oh, because Tony locked the jail cell thing there, the connector there.
Yeah.
And so he couldn't get through it. He got too slow. And he jumped out of the thing.
I love the cinematography of this as well, where the bus had flipped on its side now. So like, and
Right.
then the camera kind of like flips over.
right,
It does like
right,
that
right.
Inception thing where the
Yeah.
room turns in
Very
Inception
cool.
and they're kind
Didn't
of.
stop Tony 1 second, though. He was on top of it.
No, he was moving fast.
So now Brian's trapped in there. The bus is going over the edge, but it's stopping, but it's starting to teeter.
Little
So-
Lost World reference. That's what I thought it was.
I was
it's
thinking Uncharted
it's
again.
pretty much an action movie trope. Yeah, Uncharted a million other.
I
Lost
thought it
World,
looked beautiful.
Jurassic Park.
I knew what you meant. No, I
But yeah, the
understood.
craziest part of this though is that he has to climb out from
underneath.
underneath.
Yeah.
Which I was like, when I saw this, I was like, oh man, that'd be really scary if he had to climb out from underneath. Oh, he has to climb out from underneath.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So
I feel like
starts
there was a
teetering.
window that he could have gotten out of, but whatever.
I mean, you feel like the
You
window's
gotta
probably
go up there,
bulletproof
throw
or
the
something,
thing,
right?
yeah, whatever. So he gets up there, and the thing starts going. He starts running, and the thing starts going. He starts running, and then he jumps off, and then Letty's coming in real fast, and she does the perfect spin at the perfect time, and she's got a spoiler, and Brian jumps off, and he grabs it, and then and he's fine, and then he gets tossed, and he rolls, and then she opens the door like, "You good? What is it? You good?
You good?
That was
Yeah.
great. That was great." And he has some great lines. He has some great lines.
So
Where he just like
ridiculous.
laughs and gets in the car, but it
he
was
throws off his
nailed it.
hoodie and she gives him like a replacement
hanging around.
hoodie.
Nice. Meanwhile,
His hoodie becomes the half Indiana Jones. It just keeps rolling back in.
Dom and Shaw had been racing through another track over there, and they were getting bumped back and forth, and Ramsey was freaking out. And then Tyrese came in from nowhere, and he just bumped Shaw off the thing, and it was like, "Yeah, I'm back,
I'm back, bitches.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. We love you, Tyrese. We love you so much." And then he was like, "You
Also, quick fact:
All the Furious."
Tyrese was at our screening when
He
we
was,
saw
that's
Furious
right.
7.
Well, he
That
was,
was- I
he
forgot
was
about
there
that.
for like first 2 seconds and walked
he just
off, right?
introduced
He
the
came
movie.
in, introduced it, said like R.I.P. to Paul Walker, and then left. But that is a thing that
that's
happens.
right.
really
I saw
cool, yeah.
Tyrese
Wait, where was this?
in San Francisco.
Metron.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
They brought him in for a few shots. Yeah, she served me popcorn too. It's like, can I get you anything else? Guys, popcorn.
You want butter or no?
No, I'm good, man.
So yeah, he's like, "All right, Roman, you fall back. I'll go from here." And then all the bad guys swarm on Vince, and he stops at like the tip of a triangle. And then the bad guys' cars, they circle around him kind of in a half circle. And then Shaw's been running through the woods with a sniper rifle, and he's setting up there. And then the guy from Guardians of the Galaxy
Yeah.
and Air gets out.
Captain Marvel.
And Captain Marvel gets out, and he's like, "Hey, man." I like you. I respect what you're up to. Honestly,
Giant
we got an Obama Grabbler situation going on here. Where I don't like you, but I respect you. You just give me the girl,
Snuggie.
and guess what? we should rebuild the scene with Grabbler and Snuggie.
You're trying to shoehorn in this character.
It's not shoehorned
Who's
at all.
like a
This is
Pokemon
canon.
that just says his name.
So dumb.
I love it. And he's like, "Hey, just give me what I want, and you can live. It's not a big deal. You know what I mean? And it's a pretty good deal. But Vin needs Deckard Shaw. You know what I mean? Even though he keeps getting him, Could if he just had a gun in any of these situations, he could just shoot Deckard Shaw. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You know what? I got one better. Put your helmet on. You're gonna need your helmet for this one." And as the bad guys, if I saw someone putting a helmet on, that's what, light him up.
yeah.
Don't give him a countdown. Light him up.
Or even
Let's
start
count down from
driving the
10.
car.
Yeah.
Nine.
Target the driver, and then he does a spinny thing and kicks up all this dust. And then like everybody's like,
And
"He's pointing
again,
the wrong way."
Another moment where I'd start shooting if I were the bad guy.
yeah,
Oh, he's
absolutely.
clearly doing
Oh,
something.
he's
He's
right
not
there.
doing what we
Just
need him
shoot
to
him.
do.
Yeah. And so then he just boom right off the side of the mountain.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't just.
Oh, my apologies.
He sits there, waits for them to count down the shot, and they go 3, 2, 1, and then he goes.
But he could have
Fucking
easily.
badass.
He could have just kind of rolled off slowly and
Yeah.
gone down. He didn't have to go
little
down
smoother.
that fast and
Or
then
he wants the
jeopardize
air.
all their lives.
This is where I thought this was gonna go.
Well, is it no? Remember, because this is the love child of the two cars. Remember?
Yeah.
This is the love child. They
this
knew
is the
it-
monster.
This was built to be able to take on Deckard Shaw in a head-on collision again, and not only survive. Just
Flourish.
survive like you already did in the
No,
car
no
that
win,
wasn't.
yeah.
Well, no, you wouldn't win because even with the less.
So what I thought they were going to do with this, and what I thought would have been a lot smarter, was they already established
wings.
that each one of these has 2 parachutes. I thought he was going to propel himself off and then right at the right moment blow the parachute and then like glide
Yeah,
down.
that's what I
That
thought.
would've
too.
been
I was
really
like,
cool,
oh, that would
yeah.
have been really smart and cool because we've already established that Tyrese has 2 parachutes.
There also was a through line throughout this movie of the little kid, cars can't fly.
Yeah, I did like
Can't fly,
that.
and
Yeah.
We've proven this movie, cars can't fly.
Yeah,
You
but
stupid
apparently
little
cars,
shit, Jack.
no matter not having any sort of
It was reinforced.
Yeah, but zero. What do you call it? The fucking airbags whatsoever. Doesn't matter as long as there's really hard steel roll cages that you can bang your head against. You're
Well,
fine.
Vin just grabs the whole time. You know what I mean?
I got it.
But again, this is just speaking to the quality construction of automobiles these days.
Automobiles. Yeah.
Well,
Cars,
or
people
maybe
die in
from
car
the 70s.
accidents.
If Vin can lift up a
not true.
$3.5 million car,
Oh my god!
Don't get ahead of me in this plot. all right?
Don't get to that.
his
Don't.
body is
We're
capable
an
of
hour
anything.
and almost
How are
10
we
minutes
not
in,
there?
and we're only at the
unaware.
end of the first act.
Hey,
I
ladies
gotta
and
stop
gentlemen,
booking things after this.
This episode of Kind of the Funniest Fast and Furious in Review is brought to you by
Nailed it.
Me Undies. Ask yourself this very important question: is your underwear making you happy at this very moment? Who at this table?
Are
can
you guys
say yes?
all wearing
Oh,
me
I'm
undies?
wearing
I'm
right
not.
now.
I'm not.
I can
I
say
am.
yes.
Which one do I have on?
Sushi.
Just don't be afraid to
Oh,
push
You
it.
got
sushi
some-
rolls.
Oh my god!
How are you?
Do you not have balls?
Like, did you
I
get her cut
refuse
out?
to answer that on the grounds I may incriminate
Is that why
myself.
your voice is so high?
Oh my God. Okay. Wouldn't you like to be wearing underwear that is so soft that you feel like you're making love to an actual cloud all day long?
Cloud?
They wrote this.
Or
I
clown?
did it. Cloud.
Oh, cloud.
Like you're making love to a clown.
I thought it was a clown.
I've got one
Why is there
word
so much
for
white
you.
makeup on you?
Me
I don't know how to
undies. Ask yourself this one very important question. Oh man. Oh, that you were right. The paragraph is there twice.
Told you.
Oh, we love MeUndies so much. MeUndies has a great offer for you listeners out there. For any first-time purchasers, when you order MeUndies, you get 15% off and free shipping. Greg Miller, could you live without your MeUndies now?
I could not.
It's true.
They're very soft.
I
They're
love
very
them.
awesome. I
So
can't live
soft.
without my MeUndies lounge pants, which I wear all the time.
I
now,
get
too.
really excited knowing that there's some in the dryer, and I have like at least 4
Yep.
days straight with
Yep.
MeUndies. It's like
Same.
It's a comforting feeling.
God,
Do you only
it's
got 4
good.
pairs, man?
This is a
Step your game
no-brainer.
up. MeUndies.
Get 50% off a pair of the most comfortable undies you will ever put on. To get your 15% off your first pair, free shipping, and 100% satisfaction guarantee, go to MeUndies.com/morning. That's MEUNDIES.com/morning. And also, shout out to Robinhood. Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos, all commission free. While other brokerages charge up to $10 for every trade, Robinhood doesn't charge any commission fees. So you can trade stocks and keep all of your profits. Plus, there is no account minimum deposit needed to get started, so you can start investing at any level. The simple, intuitive design of Robinhood makes investing easy for newcomers and experts alike. View easy to understand charts and market data and place a trade in just 4 taps on your smartphone. You can also view stock collections such as 100 most popular. With Robinhood, you can learn how to invest in the market as you build your portfolio, discover new stocks, track your favorite companies, and get custom notifications for price movements so you never miss the right moment to invest. Robinhood is giving listeners of Kind of Funny Morning Show a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help you build your portfolio. Sign up at morningshow.robinhood.com. That's morningshow.robinhood.com.
Greg, have you ever taken a fresh pair of MeUndies out and wrapped it around Portillo and reenacted the scene from Ghostbusters 2 where Oscar goes to Venkman's house?
No. With the Joe Namath jersey? No. Or sweater, but yeah. No, I haven't done that.
Okay.
That's something interesting to try.
Maybe
You think
tonight.
you're gonna?
I'm not against
No,
it.
no.
So this action scene, crazy. This is the end of it, right?
Yeah,
And then
it's
we,
done.
Then we get to the scene.
We get
of
to
them.
the water. Oh, yeah.
Before we get to that,
God damn it,
I
this
know
is
we're
never gonna end.
I know. Hey, you know what? It's a great fucking movie. Let's just all
We got
enjoy
4 more
the
hours.
time
Everyone
here.
buckle in. This
Let's enjoy
podcast is going
the
to be
time.
8 hours today.
Think back to Fast Five, right? Like, what is the scene of that movie? It is the safes. Them going through Rio. It's the safes, and like that was crazy when we first saw it. Where it's like, dude, the action of that was insane. 6, there's all these different set pieces. We get the busting out of the plane. We get like that type of stuff, and it's awesome. There's some really great stuff. When you think about this action scene, again, going back to what I was saying earlier, relentless. It starts with them skydiving, then it goes into separate planes of action where it's like there's this bus situation going on where the cars are doing stuff, but also there's a fight with Tony Jaa in it.
Yeah.
Like that's insane.
And it climaxes with that jump scene at the end.
And then there's the cliff thing, and then also there's the Vin Diesel, Jason Statham race down the mountain. It's like there was so much shit that any one of those things would have been a huge moment in any of the previous movies.
It got to
Yeah.
the race thing downhill, and that's where I thought to myself, like, holy shit, this is still going. Like
crazy.
It's almost too much, and that's
It
the
hasn't
only,
put his foot
issue
off the
with
pedal.
Statham is I'm like he just gets shoehorned in all. We didn't need Statham in the scene. We didn't need him. But if we didn't have him, we weren't going to see him for another 30 minutes. So we're like, we got to put him in here somewhere.
I gotta assume he's trying to manipulate the situation so that he can steal God's eye.
or
it's the only way
I
they
guess you
can
could
find
assume
him.
that they could have also written that into the script
Or
and told
this-
the audience that explicitly. But
all of him being in all these scenes is the only reason to put in the line, you are now the hunter and he's the hunted. Because this whole time he's been hunting.
That's
Jason
true.
Statham's
That's
been the
true.
hunter
not well
this whole
though.
time.
Let's put it this way: if Jason
I mean,
Statham were
he's
actually
there.
hunting like something he had to eat, he would starve to death. He's not good at this. Maybe he just needs to
He
understand.
wants to draw it out.
He
He
needs
wants
to go
see
back
people
to
suffer.
being.
He got
He's
Han
playing
pretty
with his
easy,
food, dude.
Because Han sucks.
No.
Just saying.
You don't
Saying.
fucking know. You don't
Saying.
fuck
He got killed pretty easily. Couldn't protect his
He
lady.
was done.
He got killed by a 1993 Mercedes.
That was too low, man.
Don't
Too
do
low.
this. Don't do
is
this.
like you
choke
cheering
on
for
that
Ronda
Corona.
Rousey next to Cool Greg when Sasha Banks is facing her. You don't do that.
You're saying that
You
I'm
don't
playing
talk
the
shit
heel
about
on purpose?
family.
Please, I don't do
No.
that.
No.
I'm just saying Shaw's the best thing to
Unacceptable.
happen to this franchise.
Fucking choke on the bottle
All right,
right
so
now.
they're in this weird little fucking lake area.
Yeah,
Right.
and she wakes up and she pegs everybody pretty much immediately, which is great.
great.
Nails it,
Tyrese, or I should say, Roman sticks to his character being like a womanizer idiot, but like not with a heart of gold. And Luda puts him in his place, and then she puts him in his place as usual, which is what's great about the Fast and Furious universe. I feel right is that anytime this shit happens. happens, somebody immediately gets put down in their place. Similar when she comes out of the water later on.
Why can't I be second alpha?
Double alpha.
Double alpha. And so, where is it? It's in Abu Dhabi. That was easy. They would have killed you. I trust you guys. Of course you trust you guys. You just saved all these crazy fucking things in your family. Great. Let's go to Abu Dhabi.
That was later. They had about 3 intros to Abu Dhabi because
So many
three
bangers.
fucking
Cool.
bangers, man.
We did not.
It was the Rihanna sounding song of them all driving through, and that looked fucking cool. And then we get the Get Low song
We're
when
not
they
dressed.
park.
Get low.
And then when they're fucking dressed, that was a different song.
Yeah.
I forgot which one it was, but there's
They
3.
killed it, yeah.
They're all
So
slaps.
good.
They're all
Totally
slaps.
useless.
They're
Yeah,
all
slaps.
slaps. So we're in Abu Dhabi. They go to the beach to meet their contact. Ramsey goes in the water. She comes out. Guess what, everybody? She's very attractive. We have many lingering pans on her.
It is known.
It is known. But Jesus Christ, her getting out of the water. I didn't think the Giselle scene could be beat, and then it entirely was. Like, this was crazy. Then the camera goes around behind her. Gia literally was like, hold on, I need to see that again. And I was like, dude.
It's held almost to an uncomfortably long degree of how slow and how long this shot is. You're like, okay,
We get
I
it.
get it.
We get it.
She's very attractive.
Yeah.
But Tyrese and Luda are back there, and Tyrese says, I call dibs. And then they have a fun thing of shutting that down.
guy's like,
and
I
then
called
Michelle
dibs 2 years
Rodriguez
ago,
walks
dude.
up. She's like, what is your
And
problem?
again, Michelle Rodriguez walking in, looking amazing.
No, she's great.
Like, in this movie, like, she really stepped everything up. Where I'm like, I believe in you being the character that you're supposed to be now.
Yeah.
And so then her friend shows up. I forget his name or whatever, but he's the guy who has the sitch on lock. Great in Abu Dhabi. Yes. Also really comical and fun. I loved him in his garage. I hope we get some more of him in a spin-off or in a sequel.
I didn't actually take this note down. I forgot, but it's something I saw last night. He is like a comedian guy that is like
He's
very,
great.
very
Yeah,
famous, and he's
And
known in a
I
bunch
feel
of
like
different
Fast and
things.
Furious has done a great job of that, of like highlighting people from different regions that Americans would have
Oh,
never
sure, yeah,
known
totally.
of. But we get a singer from here or the
Like
2
that
Dominican
little known-
guys, you know what I mean? Like,
that
and they're
was-
like musicians.
Iggy Azalea.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Yeah, exactly. Little known.
Hard to believe she wasn't
superstar.
anything until this
Iggy
movie
Iggs.
happened.
Yeah, exactly. Put her on the map for Cool Greg.
Iggy.
And so it turns out.
Can't
Can't
you
you
see?
Why did you wink? No one, except for him.
It's
can
for
see
me.
it.
It's for me.
We're all simpatico. We're friends who like each other.
And he got a USB drive from her, and it turns out he sold it to a guy who put it in a car.
I think she put it in the car to begin with, and then
No.
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 I think he literally
He was
was like,
very
I
much
put it in
like-
a drive and I sold it to a guy and he put it in the car.
Yeah, it was like I put it in the drive and I sold it to the guy and he put it in his car. He says that. Oh. And I was like, I don't understand any of
Yeah,
this,
yeah, yeah.
but I don't understand tech. It's okay. You know what I mean? The internet didn't work for me
She
later
said-
when I walked back.
She
I don't
said
understand.
take care of it, and he was like, "Oh, I mean,
I'll sell it.
Yeah,
sell
man.
this drive.
None of this makes any sense.
Doesn't matter
This
though.
is
But
next
it gives us a great
Where is it?
fucking
It's in
scene.
Tower 1 in this giant thing in Abu Dhabi. There's a party there tomorrow night. That's great. You can't go and dress like this, Brian, with your fucking sweater. Okay, cool. So they all go and they get dressed to the hilt, dressed to the nines, as
Fucking
they say.
great.
You know what I mean? And everybody's fucking killing it, looking great. It's amazing. And so then it's time to go to the party. And so we go to the party, and it's Dom and Letty in the elevator riding up. And Dom's so much in love with this woman. She's like, "What?" And he's like, "There's a million things wrong, but not in this moment." You're like, that's a great fucking line.
line.
That's a
Good
great
line,
line.
Dom. Good
Actually,
job.
Write that one down.
I do the Vin Diesel impression poorly, not to insult the man at all, just because it's great. And he is as you said, he is the wise sage. He has so many like periods on the end of sentences in these scenes. You know what I mean? Of just like he nails it.
Why does that upset you?
It just doesn't
He's
work
the
for
older
me.
brother, and like
It's just
he's the
doesn't
one
work.
that
It's-
comes together and is like, "We'll solve this problem."
It's fine. It's fine. And I don't need all of it.
Is that your one problem with this movie?
I don't actually have that many
went
issues.
down.
Any problems with the movie? I just don't love that Dom's character is just kind of blah this entire time. The only reason he exists is to fight other Dom, which is Jason Statham, which we already fought
into that.
in the one before that, or in Fast 5, which was other Dom, which was.
But
The
that guy
Rock.
didn't have a face.
And now
you know?
every
too.
single one. Pretty soon, by the time we get to Fast and Furious 12, everyone's gonna be bald. Everyone's gonna be bald
Fair.
and just jacked out.
Deservedly
Should have started four hymns a little earlier.
Yeah, I just.
Hey, good job.
There it is.
Good job,
Yeah,
Kim.
callback.
So we go up there, we go in. It is a baller ass party. We got
Who's the DJ?
don't tell me.
T-Pain.
No, that's right.
Sorry.
My
Yeah.
personal friend. I've talked
Why
to him on
is it so
DM.
bright in there?
It's so.
It's Abu Dhabi.
daytime.
Yeah, dude.
But it's
It's
sun.
all windows.
It's a day
The
party.
sun.
Roman Pierce says this is how they party every day. There's always a party happening.
There's
It's like-
always
it's like-
women
it's-
we
spray
should
painted
go.
gold.
It
It's like
seems
that ship
fun.
in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy that's just a constant party all the time. That's a weird reference for everyone.
Yeah.
I got it.
Thank you.
So it's a huge party. Everything's amazing. Everything's awesome. And now it's time to everybody just to like, let's be very inconspicuous and speak to ourselves. It just all
People aren't listening at a party.
You're right next to people. Like people can
They're
tell
not
that
listening.
they can tell Roman Pierce is just talking to no one right now. Where's mine?
Everybody is like full of ecstasy in this party. It doesn't
Great
matter.
point. Great
Yeah.
point.
Let me ask you this question, Greg. Did you feel that guy's pain when they were like, "Can you please get 9 of us into the most exclusive Comic-Con party ever"?
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
too.
it sucks,
But
right?
more, it was. This is the first time ever where, and obviously we all know we love Roman Pierce. Period. We all love Tyrese. Period. But when they were when it's Luda and they're hacking down there with Ramsey. And they were running through it, and like Michelle's going to the bedroom. She goes. Ronda Rousey sees it immediately. Paul and Vin are going to make their move after Roman. What does Roman do? He does this distraction stuff, and I was like, oh man, I'm Roman. I'm the Roman of our group. If I had to go in there and grab a microphone
yeah,
and
you
fucking
are the
entertain
Roman.
people, and like just long enough for you guys to do whatever you need to
Can
do.
I be
right?
the Luda?
Oh, you are 100%
You are
the
the
Luda. Are you
Luda.
kidding me?
Well, I just need someone else to tell me, you know?
Andy's our Jesse.
But still love.
Not dead, but you're gonna make a bad call on someone. you're gonna you have a brilliant mind for 1 or 2 things, and the rest you're just gonna
Lose
fucking
the bet and run away.
your teeth fall out, man. I can't.
I have ADD. I have ADD. That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
That's right.
exactly. So yeah, then we go. We'll go with Michelle. All right. Oh, and there's an order I should go to. No, it's the right one. Michelle goes into the room and she clips the orange wire, which then gives Luda and
access
Ramsey
to
to do
cameras.
whatever they need to do down there.
Fucks a guy up before that though.
Oh yeah, right.
Just
yeah,
fucks him up with like 3
which leads,
punches.
let's just jump to the line then right there. Because she knocks him out, and then all the other shit that we'll talk about happens, and then she opens the doors, and it's Rousey with all the
Yeah,
things.
she's like, I don't
And
suppose you,
I don't suppose you believe I knocked him out with my charm. Bitch, you ain't that charming.
you ain't that charming.
Fuck yes. Yeah. Good
But
job.
Every line that Ronda Rousey
That's the thing.
delivers is
Look,
just
look,
like,
look,
I get it.
What about a bikini?
They only gave her 3 lines, and I thought
Boy.
that was appropriate.
The lines were amazing. The delivery, holy crap! It's like
She's getting so much better, though.
Again.
Lucas Black a lot of shit. Ronda,
Deservedly so.
Fucking Rousey.
We gave Gina
Oh,
Carano a lot
I'm
of
sorry.
shit
I'm
too.
sorry. I didn't know Lewis Black was an accomplished UFC fighter. that is all he did his entire career, and then it was like, now I star in this movie.
First off-
I totally take back my criticism
off,
of him
don't-
choking on his
don't have
lines.
him
First
Talk
off,
about-
it's Lucas Black because Lewis Black is a comedian. That would be amazing. If Lewis Black was in this, it would, what are you gonna do?
I can't open the door.
The Republican Party. That'd be great.
I'm the DK Dad.
I used to drift in the 80s. I love Ronda Rousey. Now,
Love
is this a better fight than the subway fight with Gina Carano and Letty?
No.
No.
I don't think it is.
No.
I think that fight was a
This is
little
a
bit
great
more.
fight.
Yeah, still
Because that fight
still
had
great.
the shot where she takes her down the fucking staircase
yeah.
over the
Yeah,
rail,
yeah.
and I was like, that was
Spears
the
her
most
down the
insane thing I've ever
staircase.
seen. Good fight though.
Great fight. So that happens up there, and then I'll play catch up with that later. Well, no, they fall and they spiral. They go through T-Pain's DJ setup.
Right.
This
All
takes the
hell breaks
eyes
loose.
off of Roman, who had been doing the happy birthday thing, and then we had a really good cuts back and forth with
talking about
back to
fighting.
Luda
Yeah.
again.
Luda.
I understand that the Fast and the Furious behind the scenes fractured, right? Rock and Vin not happy with each other. That's why we're getting these spin-offs. Give me the Luda Tyrese spin-off.
Yeah.
What do I need to
I'd
do?
watch it.
Put it as a Netflix 8-episode series.
Or
I'll write it.
watch
Fuck, you twisted
have,
my arm.
Have them refilm Thor Ragnarok.
Yes,
just to see how that
sure.
goes, you
Make
know?
it like Be Kind Rewind, and it's like in that kind of universe where they have to just
Yeah.
recreate it. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Andy, we just got a motion picture made.
Okay, there you go.
Greenlit.
Why, who shakes
I
hands
will green
that way?
And he just honked her.
And then you missed they also cut to,
I was finishing their
Oh, okay,
thing.
got it,
It's
got it.
okay. It's a
Got it.
confusing
Meanwhile-
way. Meanwhile, yeah, when the Roman initially started his subterfuge, Vin and Paul Walker went back into the vault. They got in there. They find the car. Oh man, this is there's like 70s made. Now I really want to punch the guy. It's like, whoa, man, like fuck you. If you made your money legally, Brian
Yeah.
O'Connor, you can spend it how you want to spend
That
it.
whatever you
line,
wanna do.
that I felt like
You put a beast in a cage.
I felt
Yeah,
like they.
that was
I
great.
love that. I
That
love
was
that.
good.
They
Beast
gave
in the
Brian
cage.
O'Connor that line as if he has kind of been the quippy character
Yeah.
this whole series.
And he hasn't.
And he hasn't.
No.
And so it was really
Yeah.
out of place.
But
It was
also, every
weird.
time Dom says something, it's just the countdown starts before that line gets finished later in the movie. Like, it's like, you bought a street fight, you got burned a gun to a street fight.
Yeah.
The street's always going to win.
Yeah, that was weird. That was a weird
You
thing.
put
to
the
say.
cage, the beast in the cage. I'm like, okay, T-minus 3
Anyways,
minutes
then
until
to Andy's
let's
earlier
let the
point,
beast out of the cage.
All right, we got to get this USB drive out of this car. Dom lifts the car.
He just lifts it.
And I remember I don't know if we did we do an old school kind of funny reacts to this. I remember we've talked about it a lot.
I think we
We,
did.
we did. We saw it early with Tyrese, and then we did the review.
Got
It
you.
was without
And I remember that I think back then somebody at some point brought, well, it's like, oh, it's like a super fast car, like it's probably lighter than
Carbon
this.
fiber.
And I was like, sure. But then they made a point out that it was bulletproof. I'm like, doesn't that science with Kev? Doesn't that
Science
to be fair,
science with Kev.
I'm Kevin.
That's not my
the
voice.
engine is in the back of that car, probably.
Well, isn't that
the
where
front
he
end
lifted from?
He lifted
No, he
from the
lifted it
front.
from the front.
Oh, he lifted
Yeah.
from the front?
Conceivable.
How? But
That
if
it's
I
light
made
enough of a car
if
that
I
you
made
could
a
have
light
tipped it
car
up.
bulletproof, wouldn't it weigh more?
Yeah, it'll definitely weigh more, but also the suspension on that car, real low. You know what I mean? So lifting up the back, I feel like that wouldn't go as smoothly.
But Vin Diesel's glutes, fantastic. So he's doing a lot of squatting.
And he
I
does
held
strain.
it
He
for-
does strain. He is strained.
But I love that he does
got
it
fat neck
seemingly
Vin Diesel.
effortlessly, and like he only seems strained because Paul Walker made a joke about it. I loved that. It's
He's
just
like, "You good?"
This is where he's at. This scene, I want to put this on record. I feel like I've said this
Oh,
before.
God, he's putting something on record, guys.
Because for the future, the scene that I'm waiting for in a Fast and Furious movie is for either Vin Diesel or The Rock to have a car coming at him, stop the car and hold it.
It's happening.
And like
Like
maybe
smoke's coming
seriously
off.
for like. I don't want the car like going super fast into him, but like maybe starting it and they're trying to push him back, and like it's just
Smoke's
trying
coming
to
off
go.
the back tire and it's spinning.
I have
Let's
a feeling
go.
we're going to get this in the next movie
Yeah.
with the villain doing it.
Here's what I'm
Yeah,
imagining.
where
Spoilers,
they're
no
setting
spoilers.
up
Okay,
some
here's what I'm imagining.
Any names?
I forgot which fucking Hulk movie it is, but where the Hulk is holding the cars and using them
Oh, his
as
fists.
weapons. That's what I
Yeah.
imagine.
That's the Incredible
boxing
Hulk.
gloves.
Yeah.
That's,
That's the
Edward Norton,
Ed
right?
Norton one. Yeah. If you remember in the other Hulk, just Hulk, Ang Lee's Hulk, there was no action.
That's
So no-
right. That's right.
expensive.
Incredible Hulk worse than Thor. A lot of people say.
Oh,
No, just
Thor
you,
one?
actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
just
just
you.
you.
Yeah.
See, Andy's
Yeah.
agreeing with us.
Andy.
Who's Andy?
Barry.
But where do you rank Spider-Man 2 in terms of all the Raimi Spider-Man?
So what happens next? They're in this room.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Y'all,
So it's
the
time.
beast is chained.
Rousey, the greatest WWE superstar of all time, comes down with Michelle Rodriguez, and they're brawling there. Tyrese is distracted. I think the hacker group downstairs. Oh, they had gotten interrupted, but Luda turns out can fight. And we were like, "Fuck yeah, Luda!"
So cool.
Luda's.
I love it.
Again, Luda,
Luda
Tyrese.
cannot fight, by the way.
Oh, Luda comes in this room.
He just did the Bruce Lee
Fucking
thing.
great.
And I'm like,
Wax
it's
on,
like
wax
it's
on.
one piece of choreography.
So
That's all
all
I can
of
do.
his distraction, and then guess what? We got the beast got to come out of the cage, and they just because like the walls were coming down, and so the car comes rushing out with Dominic Toretto behind the wheel, Brian O'Connor in the passenger seat. They smash. Everybody runs like what? And they're like running around, driving around, all hell's breaking. Jason Statham then comes
Tell
up
you what,
to the
though,
elevator.
we got to take the scene up. It's already at 100. Let's take it to 120%. Bring in Jason Statham for no reason.
And he's got a grenade
For no
launcher,
reason.
right? And they're like facing each other down. And then this is we forgot the car's bulletproof. The car's bulletproof. They run in and they hit him. They like hip check him with the car. And then it's like we got to get away from him. And so they drive the car out the side of the building into the other building.
Yeah, they fucking do.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
They destroy.
And they land there, and it turns out that's under construction. So like, oh, they're doing like the Marvel thing where they're just going to protect everybody that way when they get in trouble for anything. No
brakes.
Then, no brakes now. Brian, get the fucking USB out. Brian's like punching the thing and doing it, and then he goes to the other one. And we already missed or did Cars Can't Fly, but he said Cars Can't Fly. Cars Can't Fly. Busts into the other one, goes in and just wrecks shop on this museum, and I feel bad for all these exhibits.
Millions of
old-
dollars of Ming Dynasty
Yeah, exactly.
soldiers
Yeah.
that we
Gone
saw.
to history.
They've got a lot of them. It's
I mean,
fine.
they're all billionaires in this building, so who
And
cares?
so they get there
Fuck
and they're
'em all.
smashing, they're spinning, people are running and like still no brakes, but Brian finally gets the thing and they drive to the side and they all jump outside of the car and the car goes out down and it smashes and then Vin does a tumble to the edge. And I'm like, ooh, that one gave me sweaty palms. I'm just like, I hate that. But he glides to the side, doesn't have to do the hangover. Glides to the side, looks over, looks back at Brian. Brian's got it. Mission accomplished.
Now, I want to take a second.
Yes, please do,
I got to
Nick.
take a second
Please
because
do.
when we saw the original trailer for Fast and Furious 7, they have the shot where they jump from one building to the other. And Tim and I remember watching this trailer with you going, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Right? That is ridiculous. But this series is nothing if not blowing your expectations out of the fucking water. Well, the second he was like, no brakes, and you remember, you're like, wait a minute, are there 3 buildings? And he just fucking guns it into the third one. I was like, what a fun
in
idea.
the theater,
what a
all of
fun
us were
fucking
like,
what? Like, do it again? Do it again?
And like that's the thing with Fast 6, where like they showed the shot of the car busting from the front of the plane. That didn't have any antis.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
This one
With
took it
this,
up a
though,
notch. I thought this was really fun.
Loved it.
Really,
So
really,
good.
really,
Oh, yeah, a
really
lot of
cool,
fun.
fun idea.
All the action's fun in this movie.
And then there's still so much movie left.
Oh, we're halfway
So
through the
much.
movie.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
god.
much.
I paused it at this point because I was like, oh god, how much longer is it? It was like 54 minutes left.
Yeah,
in the movie
I
at
the
this
same
point.
thing happened here. I paused it and, to go to the bathroom, and Jen's like, "Oh my god!" I'm like, "I know, babe."
Let's get through
Strapping.
it.
Let's go.
get through it.
Shout outs to the scene where you see it falling down. Is that family just having a lovely
Oh,
dinner?
yeah,
and
that
it's
was cute.
just like,
That was cute.
what?
Also, I love that they make it a point to always show where the car lands,
it
so they
doesn't
didn't
kill
kill 30
anyone.
people.
Sure.
They're bad guys though. Like just
they
you
are.
don't have to justify it.
Yeah.
They're good guys now.
No, they're bad guys.
I mean, I'm just telling you how the
Remember all
universe
the
works.
Brazilians they killed with that fucking vault?
As you know, in the Fast and the Furious universe, you're only judged on the last thing you did.
Yeah.
Hence
What
why
have you done
things
for me
will happen
lately?
in the next movie, and everybody will get really
That's
cranky
fine.
about it.
No spoilers.
I didn't say anything.
No.
Michelle Rodriguez is a fish.
I've been an alien the whole time.
I couldn't remember because I'm a cod. Anyway, a cod.
Silverfish.
Let's try to go a little bit quicker.
Yes.
We go to Kurt Russell. Here's the device. We have it. Hey, here you go. We get it right back. Oh, you didn't fuck us. That's great. You're turning it on. Let's find Deckard Shaw. Hey, we found Deckard Shaw. He's at this fucking warehouse. Hey, all right, let's go get him. We'll all go in the morning. No, it's just we're going tonight. I'm Vin Diesel. My team is a bunch of killers who've killed people, but they're not killers. Let's all go together. And Paul Walker's like, I told you this. So I was like, oh, fuck, you're here too. Let's go. We go to the fucking garage that he's on. We've already seen Deckard Shaw kill all sorts of special agents, but we figure this will be different.
We're going to bring 13 people.
So we'll bring
That's the bottom line.
a dozen. He was very clear about
I
that.
love how
man.
there was just one of Thomas's floating cat hairs just floating.
They're everywhere. There's nothing we can do.
They start to infiltrate. They go there. Guess what? We come around the corner. You think he's not going to be there? Deckard Shaw is there, and he's eating food. He's just eating a steak, and he looks around. He's like, "A dozen men is all I warrant." Great line. Awesome. It sounds clear when he says it. That's right. And so he does that thing where he looks. And again, I know. Again, suspension of disbelief. I'm just giving this out right now. If you're a kid, you're a teenager, you are in special forces, but you're thinking about going to special forces. If you're going to be special forces, or you are special forces, and just in general, you're after this guy. This isn't like I'm not talking about a beat cop. I think I saw that guy steal a purse. That guy matches the description. You walk in and it's Deckard Shaw, and he goes, "This is all."
Shoot
Bam.
him right in the fucking
Done.
head.
Done.
It's over.
Right in the
Good.
head.
Done.
I don't care what weird Joker plane you have for all of us. You know
him
what I
in the
mean? The whole room can come down at the piranha plant. I just want you dead, and it's over, and the world's better.
It's Joker plan great.
Doesn't
though.
do it.
Bites a fucking grenade.
Bites the grenade and then puts it out and holds it. All badass.
Yeah.
All fucking off. And he's surrounded by like gasoline tanks.
No,
so you're getting like, oh,
is that what it was? Because
Yeah,
I was like, it's just a grenade. Shoot him.
No,
You're
they
out of
made
radius.
when
That's
they were
badass.
coming. They didn't like point it out enough, I think. But when they were coming through doing the weaves, it was all giant like fuel containers.
I
so it was that
respect-
thing that if he lets it go, it's gonna kill him, but it's gonna kill everyone.
just
And that's
gotta
when
meet
Vin
my
comes over and he's
maker.
like, "Hey, I'm ready to meet my maker. Are you ready to meet your maker?" And then he says something. I don't know.
My enemy. The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Yep. And that's when the
Great
dude from Air
line.
comes in.
Driving
And
hot
he's got his whole team. And like, oh my God, it's an ambush. And like, we weren't expecting any resistance. Ah! They all panic. All the special ops drop their guns. They start texting their wives.
Yeah.
Like, we're fine.
Thank God Kurt Russell's fucking dead shot in this.
Kurt Russell turns
Dude.
on his night vision sunglasses.
Kurt Russell in this movie is so fucking cool.
But he's so
everything
cool.
he does. He gets shot in the back, looks at Vin Diesel,
Winks.
winks,
No,
and then
he got
gets
shot in the front, and then he turns and
I-
gives the winks. No,
Yeah, then he gets shot in the
then
back.
he gets shot in the back.
Got it.
He gets shots again, and he was like,
None of this matters to me. I'm gonna live.
It's so cool.
So then, but then it's too far gone. And again, yeah. So the thing, he's wearing body armor, of course. Like they get him out of there because he got
Dragon
shot.
scales.
But they leave behind God's eye that they brought, which seems like a really stupid thing.
Dumb idea.
Brian
Yeah.
starts to go for it, stops. At which point I'd be like, "Fuck it, bam, 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 bam." Like it's better than you having it, Cobra, whatever.
also, isn't it not a software just on an iPad?
You'd think
Yeah.
so.
Yeah.
You think maybe just turn it off?
They had the
Or don't
USB
bring it
plugged
with
in,
you
and they only
into the
made
thing?
one. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
Into the Spider-Verse goober. They drive off and they're running. They're turning. Oh God, what's happening? Kurt Russell's in the back, and he's like, "Just promise me you'll try the Belgian Air." Oh, body armor! Yay!
Such a good
Oh, but you
moment.
did get wounded in the side. Oh fuck! Shit!
I might still
We got you to the
die.
hospital.
Yeah.
Don't
SOCOM.
worry. Boop! SOCOMs are coming for me, and the fucking black op helicopters coming. They put him there.
You're
He's
like, wait, all those guys probably would have been a little helpful like
no, they
20
wouldn't.
minutes
These-
ago.
No, they're medics. They're medics.
Oh, okay.
The other SOCOMs were no good. So what is
Yeah.
it? Well, why
I
would
guess
more
so.
help? You know what I mean?
don't know.
And
Not
that's
really
why
smart.
this movie, again, is so fucking ridiculous because this like 50 minutes here that plays
Didn't
out,
need to happen.
I feel like would have
No, it
been
was totally
one of the
good.
best Fast and Furious movies. But the fact that it's just all here makes it so forgettable. So much of it's just forgettable.
Yeah,
But it's
there's
good.
There's a lot in this movie.
Yeah.
They
Let's
could've
keep
trimmed
going.
20 minutes out.
So then they're coming for you though now, and he's like, what if we're gonna fight? We're gonna go to our streets or
Why? They have
whatever. If a
everything.
war's coming, I want to go where I know the war zone. What are you gonna say?
I was just gonna say where he's Vin Diesel's like, we're not gonna leave you. He's like, you're not leaving me. I'm leaving you. I just loved it.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
So
LA,
let's go
baby.
back
Bring
to
'em to the
LA.
streets.
We're back to LA, and we're all looking over. We're all just standing in the same spot together. We know they're all looking for us and can find us at any second, but we know they're not here yet somehow. So we're on a stand, look at LA, and be like, "This is a dumb plan, but we got to do it. we got to
we
protect
need
the
a
Staples
poster.
Center." Yeah, exactly. And then it's like, let's go. We got to keep the hot potato. The potato is Ramsey. We're gonna move her around. So if we can get the people with the thing with God's eye within 2 miles of us, we can hack God's eye. We can reverse engineer it. We can fucking take it back, and we'll fuck everybody up. Sounds like a great plan.
Unless we get to a tower, then we have
There's
a wider
one main
range.
cell tower. Sure,
Yeah,
that's
that's fucking weird.
Whatever.
Well, LA only has one cell tower. That people don't know that. There's just one cell tower at all.
There was
of
like 6
LA.
on 6th and whatever they were talking about in the movie.
Wow.
They're like, you get to another cell tower. Oh, that's a smart
There's
plan.
like
You
a
didn't-
fucking billion
what?
cell
What are you talking
towers
about?
in
You know what I
LA.
mean? Yeah, exactly.
I really feel like this scene was just like, okay, cool. How do we just do a different version of the bank heist?
Yeah.
And I thought it succeeded at it.
Sure.
It had some fun moments, but to your point earlier, most of this
Spinning
is forgettable
cars,
because
jumping her around.
it just took so long to get to this
Yeah.
fucking scene. It's just so much. There's a lot of fun stuff, but by the time this was here, I was like, I really
By the
want
way,
to
this
be
is where the
done.
Brian and Mia call happened, where she's like, "It's like you're saying goodbye." I'm not, kid, I love you. Don't say it like you're saying goodbye. Kiss Jack for me. That also
sounds like you're gonna die.
That sounds like more of a goodbye. You know what I mean? But yeah.
Check. I'll never see him ever
Cool
again.
scene though. I loved the camera.
Tell him it's gonna suck not to see him go to prom.
The camera doing the 360 spin and it keeps transitioning between Vin Diesel fucking sawing off a shotgun, prepping up.
Deckard Shaw, doing,
Brian ripping the FBI off of his fucking armor, like Tony Jaa getting prepared and fucking Jason Statham getting prepared. It's like, cool. They've been setting up this whole movie. That was what they had to do. Those characters had people they need to fight. That was their development.
Yeah, too much.
It's
Just
fine,
too much
it's whatever.
stuff.
So yeah, so then we're driving, we're hot potatoing her around, we're hacking, it's going well at the beginning, then they figure it out, they drop a Predator drone up there. Would you release the Predator? It would have been awesome if they released the real Predator. Instead, it's a drone. It's chasing people. It's shooting shit. Rocks in his hotel room, his hospital room. Looks outside and see. Oh no, he's first off. Do you have the Fast and Furious?
Watching himself play football.
He's watching an old Miami game where he gets a sack, and then it cuts away to the news. He's
that's
like,
really
"That sounds
funny.
real." And then he looks outside and sees the explosion. He's like, "Toretto," and then he's like, "Daddy's got to go to work."
So
Breaks it.
Daddy's got to go to work again. I already said it. Best fucking line ever. But Toretto, he sees. They say it's vehicular warfare.
Yeah.
In
Oh,
the
yeah.
streets of LA, and he goes Toretto, and then he realizes they need me.
Yeah.
Shout out to the
I love it.
shout out to the LAPD though for really keeping their distance on this one. Like you would have
They
thought
get there eventually.
at one point cops in LA would have been like, oh, let's go take care of this.
Well, as you
They
all
do,
know,
they get
like,
blown up.
in Tokyo, when people drive too fast, they stop. Like
Yeah.
they're like, we don't even bother.
No, I
so
know.
when there's several explosions, LAPD's like, it's out of our hands.
Yeah, we just gotta let this one burn out like a forest fire. Let it burn out.
Too real.
It's contained at least.
Yeah, it's nobody cares about downtown LA anyway. Fuck the
It's not a
Staples
hockey
Center.
game that I know.
It's not E3, so no one cares.
So yeah, there's a lot of driving and a lot of blowing stuff up and a lot of drones shooting, a lot of jumping around.
That's really what it is. A couple key things I want to
Sure,
highlight
thank you.
is I love the
trade-off.
we're going old school, and then he fucking goes under the truck.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
Oh right, yeah.
It's just like that. Probably the most meta line of dialogue in the entire franchise, where it's like the only reference you have to that is because it happened in Fast 1.
Yeah.
Right. I loved it anyways, though.
Yeah, me
So
too.
freaking cool. That whole scene when the trailer of the thing turned and all the stuff fell off. It's like, this is Final Destination, and the car like pulled out of it.
Yeah.
Loved that. The fight scenes were great. I loved seeing Paul Walker's fight scene against the
Tony Jaa.
That
That was
was
a
like
great
such
fight.
a good resolution
Dude.
to what we saw earlier.
I will say that the best part of the whole fucking movie is Tony Jaa does a double knee to the chest and takes him through a door, and then they ride the door down like 5
Oh,
sets of
that
stairs.
was cool. That was cool.
Tony
I
Jaa's
was
fucking
so
awesome.
scared he was gonna get decapitated.
Right, I thought at some point Paul Walker would just push him
Yeah.
up at the right moment, and that would be the end of him.
Because there was several
I thought that would
moments
be a really
where
good
they
climax.
get over a hump,
Yeah.
and it's like I audibly was like, ooh, like when they're going
Yep.
downstairs.
Yeah.
There was
that-
three big jumps where it's like all he has to do is just
push him, and his head is in
just
that
tap
wall.
him just a tiny bit. Yeah, his head will stay
No,
behind them.
Instead, his grand plan was while he's getting
Hook
the
him with
shit
the
beat
thing,
out of
yeah.
him, hook him, kick the thing, and
Smart.
hope to God the thing doesn't
Too slow.
unspool before it hits the ground.
Great
Too
callback.
slow.
Great callback. Great
Yeah.
callback. Too slow.
Yeah. Other notable scene, obviously, is when they do the trade off with Natalie Emmanuel. I
Which
think is her
one?
name. where they're about to go, and they circle the cars, and they throw her from one car to the other.
Very cool.
And then the other car blows
Roman.
up. I do want to know, like, I don't know how much training they did to roll out of these cars, but they're really good at it.
Really good.
Yeah.
They've had a lot of movies. So
of
yeah, all
course-
that's happening. And then we got Vin fighting Statham finally on the top of the parking
Too
garage.
long. This scene's way
If
too
only
long.
he had just shot him in the stomach with the shotgun in the beginning.
Yeah, right.
We get the
Instead
great
he
line
shoots
where it's
them
like,
like-
"You thought this was gonna be a street fight? It is.
You're right. I got you, fucker.
And suddenly he's like a fucking martial
the
arts
wrenches
with
out.
2 wrenches.
Here's my
Also,
thing. I feel like they cut back to this scene too much.
Way
like
too much.
So that's why it felt drawn out. But overall, as an idea and as a concept, I loved the choreography of
Yeah.
it. But it was just too separated. But him repeating the thing and like jumping.
Yeah, that
it
was
is
smart. That was fun.
The same thing as the 2 slow moments. Like we saw these characters have these like builds throughout this movie, like in terms of their fights and in terms of what's going on. But I just love them with the wrench because we know how he feels about wrenches
Yeah,
and
he
beating
loves
people
wrenches,
to bloody.
man. He
No, but what I mean
gets
is like
really hard.
he put that life behind him, but
Yeah,
he's like
he's coming
not when
back
it
to
comes
it,
to
yeah.
Jason Statham. Like he's
You
fucking
killed
doing
him.
I'm gonna
this.
kill this guy. Yeah.
I'm
So
busting out
when
the
he pulled that
wrenches.
out, there's one bit of this where opera music starts playing.
It's
Where
kind of
it's
it's
just-
stupid. I hated
I'm like,
that.
I loved it.
I also
It's-
very much enjoyed it.
It sounded like Duel of the Fates or something.
Yeah.
It did.
It was fucking
It was
stupid.
on
I
that
love
scale,
that
man.
shit. But then
Yeah.
they should have that should have been the climax. I thought they kept coming back to it. Too
Yeah,
much.
that's it's just it gets boring because you're like, okay, there's too
Yeah.
much stuff going on.
Yeah, I
and
don't
I
like
don't
this fight.
really care about any of this. Like, I don't really. By the end of this movie, I was like, I don't care about Jason Statham's character at all. Like, I don't care about his rivalry with Dom. I don't give a shit. What's really fun is watching The Rock rip a fucking minigun out of a Predator drone that he just took down with an ambulance
Yep.
and shoot
Beautiful.
it at. You would assume a bulletproof helicopter because he
They are literally. I mean, don't even get me started.
He levels
it's
like
him with a Gatling gun, the
5,000
guy with the turret gun, just shooting at each other and no one being able to hit each
Yeah,
other.
no one
Like,
can hit each
all right.
other.
No, he's doing damage because
He
it
did a
starts
little bit,
flying all
but
wobbly.
it's like a boss where it's
Finally,
like
yeah,
it's gonna
and he
take
hits the
8
thing.
refills.
But
Yeah.
also, like, I feel like if they had just kept the door closed and not
Yeah.
shot it, they probably would have been fine. He only had a chain that was maybe like 8 feet long of bullets. There's no way that lasts longer than like
But again,
15
it's 18,
seconds.
whatever.
We had a good headbutt.
Thing
though,
about
from
the
Vin
street,
Diesel.
the
Yeah, I
street
know.
fights is the street always wins. Okay, and
Okay.
the parking garage collapses on Jason
What does that
Statham, but
mean?
keeps him
He
very
breaks the
much
ground.
alive.
What does it mean?
Yeah,
He fucking
okay.
steps hard. It's like,
Ask him Nick or whatever.
it's like the house always
Ridiculous.
wins, but it's the street. It's like the street's not
Okay.
actually fighting anyone. You're
Whatever.
fighting on the street.
And that was the thing is like I vaguely
dumb
remember, I
line.
remember not liking this fight in theaters and then not liking it last time. And I was like,
not
but we
good.
come back to it because he's the main bad guy. We don't. It's the dude from Air is going to be the final. Okay,
Yeah, it's
so
dumb.
they finally get the helicopter spinning and it's got the shit and it's coming back at the Rock, which is now a threat or whatever. And Vince sees it happening, so he gets in the car and he drives the car and he jumps off the car and you think he's going to slam it into the thing and he doesn't, but that's what he wants because he glancingly puts the grenade bag on the thing.
How did he
then
do that?
Telepathically communicates to the Rock that that's a bag of grenades.
yeah.
The Rock's like, dang, I can hit that. I can't hit anything else, but I can hit that. Bing.
Well, he
go,
gets
target.
his big ass
His
gun to
specialty.
shoot it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I mean, maybe you should have pulled it out and shot the guy shooting at him, maybe. Or the pilot, or anything else. You know what I mean? So the thing crashes. That's fine. Vin crashes. He's crashed these things a million times, but his 9 lives are up.
Yeah, this-
they drag his dumb body out.
This seems like this was not as intense as the crash off the hill.
100%.
Yeah.
And his heart stopped in this.
Yes.
It's weird.
Then Brian
was
starts
faking
doing
it.
compressions. He starts yelling at Letty. He starts having her do this, and then Brian won't stop, and Letty's like, "Stop, stop!" And my wife's like, "Why would you stop
Yeah.
this?"
Well, he's clearly dying. Like,
I love this franchise. I love how dumb it is. I
Yeah.
love how stupid so much of the logic is, and they just commit to it. This scene fucking sucks.
Yeah, 100%.
it's too
This-
much.
But
so
Letty
much of this, I'm
remembers
like, this is
everything. We got
garbage.
married in the DR. It's all come back to me, Dom. I love you.
We saw a flashback when she got her hands on the necklace, right? So there was a little hint of like
In this movie?
the fact
Yeah,
of the matter
was
is,
it?
it's just we don't care. I don't care. All she
Well,
would've
this
had to
isn't
be
a
like,
big
Dom,
reveal. They were married. I don't
I
give a
know
shit.
that is
Who
what they
cares?
treated it like a
it
reveal.
was
Yeah,
definitely
yeah.
meant to be a big reveal.
No,
like,
it wasn't.
oh,
Who the fuck cares?
you
We
understand.
know you're
The
meant to be
family.
together. What does it
Yeah.
matter?
Yeah.
All she would have had to do was whisper like, "Hey,
Why didn't
I
you say
remember."
anything? Why didn't she say anything? He's like,
I remember
"You can't
everything.
kill
I
somebody
love you. Come back
love.
to me."
They love you. Hi, raise live. And like music's playing. And then we go, and it's, guess what? Jason Statham's being shoved in underground, a million turret guns pointed at him. Hobbs throws him in there, and he's like, "You're stuck here forever." He's like, "I'll get out." You know, well, you want to start digging, boy? Yay, fuck that guy.
Real quick, before they go to the underground scene, and as it's zooming out and the sort of musical resolution is happening, and it's like, oh, Statham's in that buried thing, and everybody's happy and alive. For a split second, before the music started coming in, I was like,
Oh, there's like another scene though, right? Like for some reason I thought there was another 30 minutes or 40 minutes after the movie. So I was like, yeah, well, Jason Statham's going to come back. He's not really dead. And it was the end of it, but I was just really confused by that part.
Yeah. And so then we go from there to another beachside villa where everybody's on the beach celebrating their victories or whatever. And Brian O'Connor is taking Jack and playing over there in the sand by the beach. And then Roman's talking, and then Tej tells him to shut up, and they all take a look, and everything's going to change after this. Okay. And then it was like, all right, and like, oh man, this is where he's meant to be. And it is a touching moment of
at this point, this movie stops paying attention to what it is, and it's like, this is a tribute to Paul Walker.
Yeah. And that's great. And that's my thing is like, I don't think any of the storytelling here necessarily makes sense, but I appreciate them giving the actors and friends a chance to say goodbye to Paul Walker. You know what I mean? Not Brian. Like the reason this all resonates is because we know what's happening.
A quick kindoffunny.com/you're-wrong thing. Years ago when we reviewed this movie, like we were talking about like how these actors clearly weren't on the beach together because it keeps showing their shots like individually.
Oh yeah, there's like a punch in on Luda that looked weird.
It is very weirdly cut when you think of it that way. We were totally wrong though. They were all absolutely on the beach together.
Nice,
like,
beaches are cool.
Really shot with all of them.
Yeah, Dom gets up. He's like, "I'm going to say goodbye. It's never goodbye." And again, this is like this isn't about the fucking characters. This is about all the actors that we've watched for 7 fucking movies, and we really appreciate their hard work. And so Dom drives away, and then sure enough, Paul races up next to him, right, and does the whole, you didn't think you could leave without saying goodbye, did you? And I know, right? And for me, again, like I think because of this show we're doing, right, and like actually looking at these and getting facts and all this shit, for me it was like, oh man, like a big moment that he's in that white car. He's not in the blue car, right? He's in a white car because he's an angel. Like he's driving off into the sunset, right? And so to have them race and then get the whole montage, right, of all the different things and all. And I this is. Sorry, going way back. And who knows what got patched in or whatever. I did, even though I thought the Mia-Brian relationship was so weird in this one, as you'd expect, the phone call where he's like, going in and getting that tuna fish sandwich is the best thing I ever did. And he's like, it was so bad. He's like, I know, and I ate him I loved that snippet of that conversation. So back to this to see all that, right? And see all the moments they've had. And again, like these movies have been defined, as you said, which I think understandably is what this movie is missing, is the brother relationship between Dom and Brian, like getting that again there at the end and then having them pull away and then having it all white.
It was such a beautifully edited tribute to him, like throughout the movies, because like I feel like it wasn't the easy predictable, like some of the shots they used were the obvious ones, but like they did pull some like really weird moments, and like the way that they placed them, it wasn't chronological. Like the intro to Fast 6, it reminded me of the intro to Fast 6 a lot of like the theme songy recap thing, but this one felt like it had obviously a lot more heart to it, but like there was painstaking detail put into the edit of like making sure that this was telling a good story, and I thought they really succeeded with it.
I really like that this wasn't like, oh hey, here are the credits and then it happens. I like that it happened.
It's canon.
Yeah, it's right before it does, like it ends, because there's still a little bit more that we go back to where we see the lane splitting, and it's just
them going in different directions.
Yeah. And it's just such a beautiful moment where it's like, man, it sucks that like this guy's gone, but like it's cool that forever in like the movies we have this beautiful goodbye.
And Vin's VO is just so good. They're like, "We'll always be brothers." It's like, yes, let's go, let's fucking go.
And that's it. Extended cut of it too, which I didn't remember.
They just kept going.
Well, like they're like doing verses in there that I don't know. I was like, oh fuck, shit, all right, cool. I also had that great moment for Jen watching this for the first time. When it happened, she's like, oh my God, this song? And I'm like, babe, this song's written for. She's like, really? I was like, yeah. Listen to lyrics now with that like lens on them.
That's really
not
funny.
talk about family when family's not we got.
Vin Diesel, gonna put you in the white car so you go to the left.
Like that's really specific. That's really specific.
Did they just read the script?
Like, are they watching the scene when they wrote that song?
Let's do a little ragu bagu.
Ragu. I almost peed, but bagu.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to Rad Guys Talk Bad Guys. It's the podcast within a podcast where we rank the Fast and the Furious villains. I'm one of your hosts, Greg Miller, alongside the glue, Kevin Coelho, the Hispanic heartthrob, Andy Cortez.
Hey, guys.
Right now, the current Fast and the Furious bad guy
real quick
rankings.
thing I want to say is Gia like has caught up on all her fucking podcasts that she listens to. So she's like, I'm finally gonna go back and listen to you guys. And she's been listening to a Kind of Funny podcast, but she ran out. She's like, oh, I want more. What should I listen to? I'm like, you should listen to Fast and Furious in review.
Screencast.
And she was like, all right. So, but then before she did that, she's like, you know what? I can't. I need to know all the jokes. I need to know what's up. So she's going back. She's been listening through MC in review. I'm like, you're a fucking crazy person.
Dude, that's
I
bold.
know, she's crazy. She's almost done with it though. But she was talking to me,
How does
and
she
I
have
was
so
like,
much free time?
I was like, what's your ragu bagu so far? And like we're talking. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Not familiar with that.
And I was like, what? And she was like, wait, are you talking about chilling with the villains? And I'm like, oh my God.
Well, this is Rag Guys Talk Bad Guys. Currently, Ragu Bagu Volume 3 stands at this. Number 1, Deckard Shaw, which is actually Owen Shaw. Number two is Eyes/Toretto Gang. That's a typo on my part, probably. Number 3 is Braga. Number 4 is DK. Number 5 is Johnny Tran. 6 and 7 are blank, and 8 is Carter. Where do you want to put Deckard Shaw and Air Guy?
Can we call it Deckard Shaw for reals?
Sure.
Yeah, all right. And Air Guy.
Yeah.
Not Guardians Guy.
I don't give a shit. Whatever.
All right. Well,
Guardians guy was in like 30 seconds of that fucking movie.
he was still a villain.
Okay.
Barrett, you're not part of this podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, here's my problem. Is like Deckard Shaw is cool, but like Nick says, he's just tacked on in a lot of places. I don't like his final fight scene. And an Air Guy I don't think was needed at all, and I don't like that he's a thing.
Interesting. Because I would put him as number 1 because it seems like he... I think that there's a storyline that like they couldn't like tell us about because of the changes they made. Because it definitely seems like he's trying to get the Eye of God.
I want to put him
Yeah.
like in the top at least 5.
I just can't. I can't.
His intro scene is the coolest.
See, that's the
among
thing. Is
any
like,
of
I
the
feel like
villains.
for me, he's either taking number 3 Braga spot or number 4 DK spot.
I'd say take
I think he's cooler than Owen Shaw, and I think that like they both like
Is Andy has the floor?
yeah, but like he was
Andy?
gonna put him at like
Andy,
not
what do
number
you
1.
think?
I will.
I'm on the show, goddammit.
You already don't have the votes though.
So Owen's number 1 right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
Why did we do that? I don't know.
Oh, because
Because Owen was cool
he
at
was
the
cool.
time
He was
compared
cool.
to the other bad guys.
Yeah, I guess you're right. You're
Yeah.
right.
Owen was number 1.
Yeah, but I think Decker should be number 1.
Put him at number 2.
What is?
Over the Toretto Gang and Eyes, which I think is Reyes, right?
Yeah. he
Which
was
one? I don't know
very
which one was that guy.
I think that was 4.
That was 5.
Was he in 5?
Toretto Gang,
You
you
guys
put
think
them
that-
because you said they were the bad guys.
Yeah, they
Well,
definitely.
who is
were.
Reyes?
He was the like
It's
the
your
dude that got
list.
shot
Reyes was the main guy.
by The Rock.
Yeah. Reyes was the main guy who was like,
shot on the bridge.
like these people. I give them money and stuff.
right.
I still
I think
Reyes
Reyes is more interesting than Deckard Shaw in this movie in terms of like, again. I think he's got a bad fight
Put him
scene.
at number 3.
Thank you, Andy.
I think that Deckard is way cooler than Owen, and that alone should put him in number
Decker, is
1.
that the movie with or that TV show with
So the not
White
standing
hair.
is number 1 Deckard Shaw, which is Owen Shaw. Number 2 Reyes Toretto Gang. Number 3 Deckard Shaw for reals. Braga at number 4. 5 is DK. 6 is Johnny Tran. 7 is still blank, and Carter is at 8.
awesome
It's time for haiku in review.
7 syllables in the middle. You'll need 5 for the first and last line. If you're not poetic, no need to fret it. Haikus don't need to rhyme. Haiku in review. Haiku in review. Everybody now stop. There you go.
All right. You can write into patreon.com/kindafunny if you are a bronze member or above your review in haiku form. Let me look for some here. What do I want to start with? Let's go. James Davis. Promise me, Brian, no more funerals. Don't make me cry, Fast 7.
Damn.
That's good.
Joe the Crow says, let he punch Hector. His Vatos. Watch the Spectre. Dom
making it rhyme.
should have checked her.
Oh, pretty good.
Making good calls too. Yeah.
He also writes, no, wait, did I read that wrong? That was Joe the Crow that said that. James Davis. Oh, James Davis did too. That's why I got confused. He says, I hope Kurt Russell one day hands me an ice cold Corona Extra. You're not doing this haiku thing correctly. It's not just 13 syllables throughout the entire thing. It needs to be whatever.
I thought it was beautiful.
Yeah, they have to be standalone statements, but still, great job, James Davis.
Taylor, the Britain boy, says, a new trilogy begins. Jason Statham is a 10. Paul, I'm sad. I'll never see you again.
Wow.
And they incorporated rhyming. Even
Just
though they
stop
have
there.
to.
That's great. Or keep going.
Blackjack says, Lou Black still can act. No breaks. Now just go faster. Total disaster.
That's good too. That's good too.
Ignacio Rojas says, great action, no substance. Is that The Rock with a minigun? The feels, though, for Paul.
Great action, no
forepaw, yeah.
substance.
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't
The
agree with
forepaw.
that.
And Johnny Hayes finally says, "Cars can't fly, little Brian. The Rock is a chain gun. God damn, I guess cars do fly."
Hey.
Don't know how the syllables there work, but you know what?
Doesn't matter.
No,
Who cares?
it's time to rank the Fast and the Furious universe. Number 1 currently is the Fast and the Furious 6. Number 2, Fast 5. Number 3, Fast and Furious 4. Number 4, Tokyo Drift. Number 5, The Fast and the Furious. And number 6, Too Fast, Too Furious. Too Fast. This is probably the hardest one for me to nail down, because so much about this is easily number 1. I feel like this movie has so many elements that are clearly the best, but as a whole, I still think that 6 is better, because 6 works as a single movie better than I think this one does. And I don't think that the writing stuff, I don't think that the Paul Walker stuff is the only reason for that.
No, I think this scene has a lot of really great. I'm sorry, the movie has a lot of great action sequences. I agree. I think there's too much. It doesn't really come together very well. I don't think it has nearly the heart that Fast 6 does.
What?
I 100% agree with him.
Yeah, I mean, I think the reason why everyone has an emotional connection to this film is not due to the film's quality. I think it's because of Paul Walker's death,
as well.
and because we send him away, and because it's an end of an era. But I think that, I love the action sequences in this, and if you compile those all into a 60-minute film, I could be like, yeah, let's put this a little higher. But I think overall, Fast 6 is, I stand by, it's the epitome of what Fast and Furious franchise is.
For me, Fast 6 is the last. Well, I haven't seen Fast 8 for the record, so I guess I'm just going to... Fast 6 was, as we talked about last week, right, where I finally put it together of how I don't watch movies like you guys do, where for me, it's all about the characters and relationships in this, and the action is totally where I tune out. This movie is all action, and I feel like really doesn't give me much character moments. And again, maybe it's this, maybe it's Paul, maybe it's...
But still, it doesn't.
To sit there and grade it, for me, it's an argument of, do I think it's... In this, I know it's blasphemy. Do I think it's better than Fast 4? Like,
Jesus.
I like I said last week, I loved Fast 5 in terms of we're getting the group together. Here's how they all play off each other.
Yeah.
And I couldn't argue that Fast 6 isn't a more complete movie in terms of, we're going back and arguing, but in terms of like what I don't want to watch this again. When we watched it in theaters, I enjoyed it and I thought it was a great, bookend to Paul Walker in the series, or I guess an end for Paul Walker in the series. But like, I would much rather, I think, for me it is a debate of would I rather go back and watch Fast and the Furious 4 than this. And I think I probably would, because I just enjoyed seeing those guys interact and talk to each other more than this.
I've talked about Fast 4 a lot, but I think that has the best character moments out of the entire franchise. I think we ranked it a little too low on the list as far as I'm concerned. But yeah, that's the question. Is it going to be number 3 or number 2?
I totally disagree. I think that this movie has...
We don't have the votes. I think it's going to be number 2.
Phenomenal action. Like,
I'm
the
not
best action... No, I'm getting there.
Okay.
And it also has a really, really important, like, touching ending story for Brian. And
it's
also
touching
think
because
that,
of Paul Walker, though.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
not the character,
That's
though.
right.
Yeah,
But it's still
because
like,
we know he's dead in real life. It's not because they did a great job
it's
of
not a
getting
good
us
movie.
here.
It's because.
But
he
here's the
fucking
thing.
died in real life.
I think Fast and Furious 6 storyline is just as absurd and like thrown all over the place.
Yeah, I
I
just
think
think
that
it's
they
better
brought in... Huh?
It's just better done though.
I disagree. I think that story, it's
tighter.
like, it's all about like them trying to steal a chip and...
Yeah, but if you look at the bad guys, right? The bad guy in Fast 6 actually is smarter than them and out games them at their own game. And in this one, the bad guy just sort of races behind them the entire time and is dumb. Like, he's dumb. He's not the only thing he does that's even remotely smart is he holds them at bay with a grenade. Even that's dumb. Like, they walked into it, it's got gas tanks everywhere. Why weren't there explosives all over that? Why didn't he outsmart them ever? He's just a dumb thug. His little brother's way smarter and brought a whole team together.
Point, though, right?
But that's not good. Like, I'm saying the brother in Fast 6 way more compelling as a antagonist to Dom. He's the smarter version of you. He's better version of you. He's faster. He's more technically inclined. That's why you can't beat him. We need to figure out how to beat him, and that's called conflict. In this, there is no conflict between him and the bad guy, because at the end they could have ended it right there where they were at the beginning with 2 fucking guys beating the shit out of each other. That's not fun.
Yeah,
it's boring.
I do agree with Greg and Nick, where I believe part 1 and part 2, part 1 and part 2. 5 and 6 have better character moments, and I'm looking at this to being right below Fast 5 in at number 3. That's kind of where I'm feeling. Again, the action scenes are incredible, and I can't take that away. But I still do feel like it. Throughout the movie, we didn't get the real character moments that we really wanted until the very, very end. I don't know.
Yeah, the Paul Walker stuff, I think, it complicates things. But I
complicate,
disagree with you, Greg, though, where I don't feel like it was just a send-off to Paul, because I feel like it was a good send-off to Brian. I feel like in the context of this movie, it might not have been like that part does feel out of sync with it being I guess the beach scene more specifically, like that dialogue feels like it's for Paul, not for Brian.
100% is.
Yeah, but the whole movie
the
does a
rest
good
of it, though,
job building that
like
up.
the parts where them driving and the dialogue between Vin and him, I feel like that totally is set up in this movie with all of the various. Like I missed the bullets and all that shit, but also it was stuff built off of 4 and 5.
Yeah, but is that
Paul
set up
Walker-
because that's seems to be shoehorned in after?
But and also, if Paul Walker hadn't passed away in real life, none of that would have had any relevance in this whatsoever. The resolution would have been, "Hey, we're family again. You're back on the next adventure." Because he would have absolutely been in Fast 8.
But if we didn't
100%.
know that he died and we didn't know that, and we just watched this movie, I think they did set it up enough. And knowing the characters and knowing their dynamics from 4 and 5, because we watched and 6, because we watched those things, it's like I do feel like it does make enough sense to me where it's like this does feel emotional for Brian, not just for Paul.
I
See,
think
my
this
thing
movie
is
has-
they never, with Brian in particular and what you're talking about, they never turn the corner. They never have even a scene with anybody else, like his brother playing him, CGI thing, like, you know what? I do want to go have that life.
Yeah.
It is very much, I fucking hate this life. Never established, never established. I'm having another kid.
resolution.
Never established that I want to go be a dad. Like,
I mean,
and
I
not
think-
even a dad, that's not right. But, you know, I want to have a normal life, in quotes.
Like the only character that has even remotely an arc in this movie is Letty. That's
100%.
That's
Which is
it.
fine, but I guess-
Dom is the exact same in Fast 1 as he is the entire fucking franchise, and he's one of the main characters. He's kind of boring.
I mean, I feel like Dom's had his moments. I mean, I feel like Fast
Yeah.
4 was his moment.
That's
the thing
fair,
is,
that's
like,
fair. Fast
it's
4 was
okay.
good for him.
Like, I'm fine that Vin and Paul weren't the main characters of the movie because they've been the main characters of others, and I'm saying main characters in terms of arcs. I like that this one focused on Letty. It focused on Roman. It focused on Tej and
Did it really I mean,
Roman had so much more to do in this movie.
didn't
That's
focus on
he did
Roman.
more, but did he
like
grow
3
or
extras?
change? Like, I don't think
He
that's
was
it.
the leader of that first.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he was
really
comic
what it was.
relief, and he's always comic
But that's
relief.
what he
Yeah,
is.
exactly.
But
I
I
also,
feel like he was-
here's my thing. I agree he's comic relief. Don't get me wrong. And I thought Luda did a great job too, right? I just don't. You said I don't mind Brian and Vin not being the main character of this movie. Who is the main character of this movie?
the family. Like that's my thing. Is like we're at a point now where it's like these. So when you look at the
That's a
movies, there's
cop-out,
different.
though.
I don't think it
You
is.
can't
No,
have,
but, like,
you
that's
can't
what
have the
this-
family be the answer to everything. Like there's no emotional value. If you take out the fact that Paul Walker died, there's no emotional value in this movie
That's
whatsoever.
fine.
That's not true.
I
I
don't
mean,
know that you
Letty
need emotional
being brought,
value.
like,
Very
remembering.
thin. Very
We
thin.
talked about that being a horrible sin.
Yeah,
I
that's
don't-
true. The
I don't-
resolution to that was dumb.
I also want to add that, like, I feel like a lot of Fast and Furious 6 was you're gonna have to leave this life behind, and like that was without knowing.
Yeah, and they did it really well in that one. And then at the end, they were like, "Cool, we have a little bit of resolution." With this, it's like
Well, I
you're gonna
think-
have
I
to
mean,
leave his life behind. It's like I fucking know. We already talked about that in the last
6 could
movie.
have easily been the end of the series,
6, in my
Yeah.
opinion, is the end of that
I gotta go.
that series.
but
I gotta go. Wait, what do you vote?
I have a.
You got the guy coming for
I'd
you.
put it at number 1.
Okay.
So
Okay,
I
cool.
mean, I'll take it as high as it'll go.
I do feel like they tried to recreate the moment where Vin and Paul are talking to each other, and we had that really great moment, I think, in 5 where he's like, I didn't know my dad, or he's like, well, you're going to be different. I feel like they tried to do that again in this one. It's
too much.
And it just didn't work. Like
falls
they try to have that heart-to-heart, and I feel like they were trying to recreate magic from that prior version. It just wasn't as
Yeah,
good.
there's a lot in this movie that just doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem because there's so much in the movie that does work.
There's so much
that
great
is
stuff.
Sadly, I
Fast and
know.
Furious, you know.
Yeah.
So time to rank the movies. Let's start with
Rank 'em.
yeah.
Dank 'em.
Who thinks it's better than Tokyo Drift? Raise your hand.
Everybody's hand. Oh,
Yeah, okay.
oh, okay. Everybody's hand
I'll
is
give
up,
it that.
including
I'll give it
Kevin's.
Everyone's
that.
hand is raised. Who thinks it's better than Fast 4?
Nope.
Me,
don't.
Andy, and Kevin raise our hand.
Okay.
Who thinks it's better than Fast 5?
You and Kevin raise your hand.
Me and Kevin raise our hand. The new ranking of the Fast and the Furious universe is as follows. Number 1, Fast and Furious 6. Number 2, Fast 5. Number 3, Furious 7. Number 4, Fast and Furious 4. Number 5, Tokyo Drift. Number 6, The Fast and the Furious. And number 7, Too Fast, Too Furious. Ladies and gentlemen, next week, we are reviewing the final Fast and Furious movie thus far, The Fate of the Furious. That's right. They had the balls to call the 8th movie Fate of the Furious because it has an 8 in it.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Kind of.
Maybe. It rhymes. I don't know. What the fuck ever. I can't wait to see where this one ranks. I've only seen it once.
Yeah.
We'll have to see.
Same here.
Until next time.
Rest in peace, Paul Walker.
Yeah,
Yes.
There you go.